What's up with you? What's up with you? Look, we finally got some photos. It was 6 people that they're saying 6 have passed away at the beginning of this conflict. 2 of them still are waiting on notification of next of kin. And rest in peace, man. The first caskets are showing up, and this is a result of a war. And the problem with a war is it's hard to lie to the people about a war. When you have an energy bill, when you have a tax plan, when you have something like that, they find out later. But when it comes to war, the bodies start to add up and the bodies have an effect. And they expected this to last, from what it seems, maybe a week. They expected, hey, let's take out their top leaders and the people are going to cave and we got a regime change and we don't have to worry about it. But they didn't. They underestimated Iran and the amount of firepower they probably been given by China, and also the technology that they don't know about now. In the age of fake news, in the age of social media, we'll never know. We will never know the truth. So if you look on the social media, you see all types of missile attacks. You see all types of this is happening here. This is happening here. It's being told that Iran has struck all of the neighboring all the bases. There's a report about 3 hours ago that a CI building in Dubai was obliterated, and it was 650 people working there. And people have already people believe the casualty numbers are being suppressed. They believe that. They believe there's easily 700, 800 people in these 3 days. Many of the U.S. facilities have been struck that were in these foreign countries, Qatar and all. Yeah, it was Americans working there. And Iran got to those buildings. And those countries don't have the equipment to stop this technology. And what we were being told, this is old technology. What they said that Iran is dumping all of their old drones deliberately, sending them up, and 1 or 2 is going to get through. Most of them going to get shot down. But they're trying to deplete the U.S. missiles and deplete all of the missiles from the Middle East. Then, as they stretch this war, they're going to get to the Chinese technology that they've purchased that they feel is far superior than what they're using. But in the meantime, they're depleting stockpiles. Now, it's already been suggested or whatever, and I think they said Trump went out talking about peace talks. Trump was under the impression, and he was advised by the Pentagon not to go to war. He ignored them. They told him about we don't really have that many missiles. And let me tell you something about a war. You still have to cover, you still got to defend your territories. You can only send so much military to one location. Yeah, you people think, okay, take all the ships and all the planes. Don't work that way. You still have to defend your own territory. So you can't just, and then you have missions. You have all types of things going on that This has to be a part of it, and they're allied. So when you say Russia and China, and once again, you got to understand, you have to defend yourself. So you don't want to deplete all your ammunition, and you don't want to be drawn into the fight deeper than you can afford. I mean, literally, you can afford. So, and generals, United States generals, obviously they're not working there now. They can't publicly say anything, but they've been leaking information. And retired generals, many of them have been going on the shows. These are patriots. They have no reason to lie. And they're saying, hey, this is going to be a very hard war to win because it was not done from a strategic standpoint. And it was done with the assumption that the Iranians would quit. And it was done with the assumption that they knew the war plans. They knew all, they okay, if we take out Iranian leadership, the people are going to hit the streets and demand democracy. I always thought that was the most ridiculous. That's propaganda. You have to be a complete imbecile to think that. I think it's like 90 million people. I got to go look around. How many people? Let me see. Iran, my fault. Iran population, 2026. 93 million people. Let's take out the leader, and 40 million, just say 40 million, are going to flock to the streets and praise the United States and become a democracy. Nah. I don't know why people believe that. That is propaganda. If you listen to Fox News and they fed you that nonsense, you're and that's the thing. That's the thing. People don't, you're an imbecile if you believe that. And I saw the little video where there are people out there. You don't know if them people were paid or not. That's not that country. They've been down there saying death to America. And they will never do that. Now, the Iranians understand what's going on. And remember, this is their home field. And they don't have to focus on the United States. If they can, and they might do it, they'll try to bring China into it. And then how we gonna defend ourselves if half our fleet is over in the Middle East, and now we got to deal with China? And then if we get weak and vulnerable, what's to say another country can't strike us? That's why you have to. This whole businessman nonsense. Well, this is what you get, though, man. And we're going to have a lot of bodies coming home. When you say you don't want to listen to your military advisors because you know better, you're a deal maker. Iran don't want the deal. And they have the weaponry to destroy at least their neighbors. Could they defend themselves against the U.S.? No. Could they defend themselves against a nuclear attack? Nobody can do that. But that would bring everybody into the war. Can't use nukes. Everybody gets in. Russia gets in. China gets in. North Korea gets in. You can't do that. Has to stay conventional. And we're in the new day of drones. They came prepared. And once again, if they have technology that defeats your radars, it renders your defenses useless. Now, the price. A drone runs you about $50,000. capable of causing damage to a building. A missile to stop the drone, about $1 million. So that gets into your money. You know, when you have to buy weapons, you got to pay for them. Where are you gonna get the money at? What, we 40 million in 40 trillion in debt? How much money do we owe China? So you can collapse an economy. Don't we owe enough money to China that if they requested their money, they could collapse our economy? And this is more of this world is very, this is not this is not the 1930s. This is not the 1920s. So everything, we have Uber now. We have world travel. We have Tesla or whatever. You got SpaceX. You know, you got people going up in these rockets. War gets in the way of that. America's a very comfortable civilization. We live very good. Iraq, they're used to living like they live. The war is really not going to affect them. This is a mistake, man, and it's going to cost a lot of Americans their lives. And that's one thing you can't lie about. You can lie about a lot, but when those bodies start to come home, people are going to know what's going on. People going to know, you're telling us we're winning, we're going to win like we never won before. We decimated all of their military and they should be surrendering, yet you're going to keep getting bodies. You're going to keep getting bodies. Then what do you do? The only thing you really can do is, you should do this now, you got to walk away. You got to let Israel fight their own war. You got to walk away. You can't be drugged into it. And the cost, forget the financial cost. What about the American lives? Do they have any value? Do American lives matter? Do the amount of people being brung back in caskets with flags, does that matter? Does that matter to the American people? Don't you think this is going to influence people? And as a president, you're president of all Americans. Trump's very divisive. He wants to be. He wants to be. He's not a centrist. He wants to be a hardcore neocon Republican. Well, he's going to have to convince the Americans, and he's already said that, and they're making a big deal about it. He says he knew there would be some casualties. He's going to have to convince these people that it's okay for their children to go to foreign soil and lose their life to defend the concerns of another nation. Once again, we still have to maintain a healthy force to defend ourselves from other enemies. Iraq, that's just Iran, that's just one enemy. And believe me, they're watching. China's watching. North Korea's watching. North Korea's no threat to us, and we're no threat. Well, if we wanted to be, but they're no threat to us. But if they were to join, see, that's the problem with these wars. You pull people into them. You don't mean to get into them, and they pull you into them. It ain't no different than a fight in the streets. Somebody jump on your friend, you say, okay, I know the guy. Let me go talk to him. Let me go show him, he was wrong. You go there, you threaten him, then his friend shows up. Then all of a sudden, you don't want to fight. His friend, you and his friend, hey man, we don't have no problem. But what he did to my friend, he was wrong. And I was telling him, no, I don't care what you say. You see, you get drugged into it. It's the same thing. And we don't have the money. And I don't think Trump has the political clout to do what he's doing. I really don't. And I'm telling you, when those bodies start showing up, it's going to make people change. A lot of this, uh, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican stuff, it's going to go out the window. People are going to want peace. And another reason people are going to want peace because they don't feel like, here we go. Another reason Another reason they want peace is because they don't feel like America should be. If you want to go to war, you go to war on your own. All of this talk about Iran's going to attack, Iran's going to attack, Iran's going to attack, Iran's going to attack. Then they attacked Iran. Telling them, well, that's a whole different story, huh? No, we know Pakistan. See, the thing about these nuclear weapons, right? That's a big deal. And the United States not the only country with them, and they cost money. And none of us, they don't know what we have. We don't know what they have. None of us know exactly what the other person has, because every year they advance the weapons. Say he has no plans whatsoever. He just likes to watch the bombing like a TV show. He cares about nothing but he cares nothing. But yeah, he doesn't. That's the thing about it. For a president to resurrect, said we're done. Yeah, 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 yep. Resurrect said we are done, and in the sense that he's already he about the 12-day war in Iran. They went and knocked out all of their. They tried to. I guess they were under the assumption they could do something like that again. Now, if people can say that, you don't think Iranian, and they've already prepared for that. They're prepared for the next level, and they're bragging on Twitter how they got to the top guy. They appointed a second guy interim. They got to him. That country's prepared for that. For all we know, the active leader of Iran is in China right now, communicating electronically. For all we know, that's one thing. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have your leader up front, but it's not. It's a copy. It's a figurehead. Comes out, makes a couple of speeches, goes a couple of places, but the actual leader, you don't know where he is. And if it turns out that's true, and there's a split in MAGA. There's a humongous split in the MAGA camp where a lot, especially the America First, they're just saying we need to get the illegals out of America. We need to focus on bringing jobs back to America. And, to a certain degree, we want to police the world. We want to help. but we have 40 trillion in debt. We got to get that down, and we got to get ourselves together. How can we help someone if we're not together? That's what the American first people want. They don't want all these foreign wars. Iraq is way on the other side. 97 million people. They're being told they can't have a nuclear weapon. Now that they've been missiles, but they're firing back. And since you really can't use them now, there is people saying if this thing starts to last into a month and Israel is being completely decimated, that they may go nuclear. Well, that's going to be a bad thing to do for them. They'll believe me, it'll create problems in Iraq. I mean, in Iran, but the world stage is different. When you say world power, you're not going to just sit back any more than the United States would sit back and let people go against the traditions that you've set forth. You're not going to let people do that. And where's the money going to come from? That's the thing. All of this Doge and all of that, where's this money going to come from? He said Trump is keeping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. This is 5D chess. Nah, brother. Now, first of all, I don't know what make you think Trump can stop them. Trump couldn't stop them. They don't have a nuclear weapon because they don't want one. They don't want one. They could get a nuclear weapon from one of their allies. Let's just say they made it. Well, the problem with war is war creates problems. Look at the travel. There's a video on TikTok of a young lady. She's stuck in Dubai. She's stuck. She's been trying to get out for 2 days. She's been going online. She's been purchasing the ticket. And then she finds out the flights have been canceled. She's in a hotel. She's shown out her window. There's debris. There's ash. They didn't hit her hotel, but they hit one a couple of 100 feet over. You can see it. And she was down trying to just go on vacation. Now, the Washington did say all of the Americans need to come home or they need to get out of these countries. But see, they were never warned before. That just happened. The strikes happened, and then now you got to end your vacation. Now you're an American in a foreign country, and you're a target. And then this right here, he says, let's listen to read some of this nonsense. He said, President Trump has my support from Canada. Iran should never have nuclear missiles. Trump is keeping us all safe. Yeah. Now check this out. Obama was funding them with taxpayer money. Okay. And what's the next thing he had to say? Obama is a traitor. Well, you're a racist. You're a Canadian racist. And you're going to the dungeon. Get out of here, bro, with that foolishness. Some of these people, and you do this stuff on YouTube, but some of these people, that's all their entire life is dedicated to hating Obama or owning the libs. Their whole life is. And they're so dedicated to that type of hatred that they've become delusional. Delusional. You hear this foolishness? We got the first group of Americans, bodies being flown in. Don't you think that's more important? You have a president saying that he knew it'd be some casualties. What are you talking about? You don't want anybody to die for a war of convenience? My God, not well. No, it's American first in there. It's a lot of American first. And see, we still, that's another thing. We have to understand. We walk around, we don't have, missiles coming at us, but that's now. Yeah, I know. Obama gave them their own money back. Trump has bought out their hate in the country. Obama gave them their money. He gave them what that was their money. And I'm all for America first and all of that stuff. But if America's out bullying people, those people are gonna fight back. And who has the moral authority? I mean, they took the head of Iran, they took him out. The Venezuelan guy, him and his wife, they arrested them. They didn't, and they also paid. Turns out they went in and paid. There wasn't even a effort. They were basically handed over with bribes. They paid people to let them come in because they didn't want any casualties, and they had none. They took the people, arrested them, brought them back to America. If he stretches, if he stretches the military out, we're not going to be able to defend ourselves. And that's one thing you have to do, maintain self-defense. Going into Iraq, I would say go into Iraq if it served American interests. But going into Iraq because you want to go into Iraq because allegedly there's a nuclear place there, allegedly, and you've been briefed by the Pentagon, you ignore what they say, and you get briefed by Israeli with the IDF, and you listen to what they say, and then what happens? Then look at what happens. They tell you all we gotta do is cut the head off the fish, and we can install our own leaders over there. But that's not what's happening. That's not what happened. And it's the people are united. It was the same thing in Vietnam. It was the same thing in Vietnam. In Vietnam, the farmers, the people who had lived in that jungle knew that they could outlast foreigners on their terrain. They knew that. We just saw the 20-year war without Afghanistan. Iran's bigger. There you go. He will send your children. Now that's the problem. Look, this is not a partisan conversation. How many Americans are going to support this war as bodies are being flown back home, being brought back? And you may be lucky where none of those dead touch your life, but eventually it's going to seep into your life. It's going to be someone you know. It may not be a family member. It's going to be someone from your church, someone maybe you went to school with, someone you played football with, someone you know. And then what? And like we did earlier, let me do this right here. If we can for a moment, if we can for a moment. Wow. If you could take some time out and you could hit the well, we like for you to hit the like, obviously, right? Support the platform. But if you can, reach into the chat box, man. Just put a one in the chat or put your favorite emoji. And we want to take a moment of silence for the first casualties in the beginning. We hope that this ends soon, but we got they were hit by a drone at the command center in Kuwait, and Captain Cody Cork, 35 of Winter Haven. Give you guys a chance. Hold up. Yeah, if you could reach down there, man, show some support. Hit a one in support of these American service people who lost their lives. Thank you. Okay. Captain Cody Cork, 35 of Winter Haven, Florida. Sergeant First Class Noah Tegens, 42 of Bellevue, Nebraska. Sergeant First Class Nicole Amore, 39 of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Sergeant Declan Cody, 20 of West Del Montes, Iowa. Possibly, you know I can't talk, so promoted from specialists, no other names were released. These men and women all bravely volunteered to defend our country, and their sacrifice will never be forgotten. Sadly, there will likely be more before it ends. That is the way President Trump said of the deaths. We believe that the casualties, the amount of casualties are being suppressed. Low estimates, 600, maybe even over 1,000 people have died based on all of the military installations that Iran has struck, including today, a couple hours ago, a CIA building in Dubai. It was demolished and it housed 650 people. Now, we know we're in the age of fake news and all of that stuff and social media, right? But the politicians still are going to be careful and withhold information. Now, they can't withhold caskets coming back to America. They can't withhold the families who want to cry over their dead. The families who want to go public over their dead. They can't withhold that. But they're going to try to convince you that it's okay for your children to die in a foreign country while their children stay unharmed. They're going to convince you. Will you fall for it? Like the stream, man. He said, I just saw Andrew Tate say Dubai was good. Well, okay. Those behind Trump are using him as a Trojan horse for profit because he has late stage. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, propaganda, man. You see a lot of propaganda, and that has always been a problem with the politicians and the people. You send our kids off to die in foreign wars for purposes that have absolutely nothing to do with with America. Those missiles cost money. That's taxpayer money. Like the stream, brother. We got some weirdos, bro. Let me help you with that, brother. You keep dying for Israel, then say freedom when Americans are not free themselves. Yeah. Yeah. And now I don't know if that's AI or whatever, but Tel Aviv, they showed it. It looks bad. But like I said, I don't know if that's AI. But this is how wars affect people. They're terrible. You really, we have been fortunate. We have been fortunate. Let me see. Other than if you want to call Iraq a war, yep. I guess you got to call it a war. Uh, but 2003, we was fortunate. I was thinking more of a world war, right? Because you had World War I, and then within what 20 years, yeah, World War I. That was July 28th, 1914. Then World War II. Well, I know that one. That was December 12th, 1941, right? No, no, no. I got that wrong. It says 1939. The bombing, okay, I got it mixed up with, I think that's Pearl Harbor. That's when America was bought into the war. Okay, let me see. That's when 1941. Okay. Yeah. So 1939 is when it started. So from 1914, World War I, 1939, World War II, world wars, right? World wars. So what, about 40 years? 30 years, 38 years. So well, in between them, about 35 years. You got World War One, that ends all of the issues with that, and then you have another war about 20 years later, and it goes on. And this was my thing, other than like Vietnam, and which wasn't a world war, all these small skirmishes, we hadn't had another world war. So we, as a people, have enjoyed peace. And this generation, you go back to what, the 50s? I got to go see. I don't know when it ended, but from that time it ended till now, we haven't had a world war. And we enjoyed a peace that the generations before us, they didn't enjoy. They had to live under those circumstances. They had to hear uh those alarms. Remember in the schools, get up under the desk. They would blow all the horns on bomb shelters. And many of us now we've never experienced anything like that. And if we don't start about, you was born a millennial or something, you ain't experienced nothing like that. And you'll find out it's not good to go, you don't want to be in a world war. And that's why you want to stay out these regional battles. You want to stay out of these regional battles, but we should be able to enjoy peace, the worst war ever fought by the greatest generation, so we can enjoy peace. Iran's not Iraq. Yeah, Iran's way more powerful. But these wars cost a lot. This is not a big deal, but just like the passport bros, they can say what they want. When they travel, they're at greater risk. He's already taken down. You people who are against taking down the Ayatollah are confused. He's already taken down. But you make the assumption that the people don't have plans when that happens. And for all you know, and you don't know, the person who runs Iraq has been living in China. I mean, Iran, the person who lives in Iran has been living in China for the last 20 years. You don't know. For obviously for safety reasons. And not just, he don't have to be in China, but I'm just saying you don't know where he is. We don't know where he is. And the black community, man, and Trump, do you think Trump can hold us together? He said a hypersonic missiles can be launched from Iran and be controlled in China, probably. Probably. And I really think China has given them technology that uh, they don't know about. America doesn't know about that technology. I think it's deeper than calling Trump names. I think the fact that people are going to lose their lives means more than name calling. I personally think it means more than political affiliation, but for some people they don't. And to a certain degree, it's called brainwashed. It's called brainwash. Anytime you care more about your political affiliation, like it's your religion, than dead servicemen, you've been brainwashed. And there's people in the chat box, you have been brainwashed. You have lost your way. Yeah, I don't think they have to worry about a U.S. invasion. Yeah, they have been living like that, though. You said after Iraq was hit, and they seen that over there. They've been preparing for being attacked. And Iran, Pakistan has nukes. I think India has nukes. They're not that hard to make. You got to have the right equipment, but you can make them. And if they're allied with China, if they're allied with China, they could just get one. And don't tell me the United States can watch. And no, they can't. How would they know? What they gonna do? Go read the serial number on it? Miss Missy says she sends her blessings and says, "Thank you for making the ultimate sacrifice, service members. Rest in peace." And whatever your political persuasion is, that has nothing to do with this. You honor your dead, and you also you don't want to unnecessarily put them in harm's way. You want their lives to have value. Who wants to be a political pawn? Oh, I'll send you to to Iran, and I want to put numbers on the ground. Oh, by the way, only 10 of you guys gonna make it back. I know I'm gonna lose 50 of you guys. I know I am, but you're expendable. You never want to do that. And right now, that's what Trump sounds like. This guy's still talking about you know what, bro? You know what? This dude said the Ayatollah killed almost 40,000 people with military weapons that their own unarmed people had. Okay. Well, I'm going to let you know that Ayatollah was assassinated. So you keep bringing him up. That man's gone. What kind of food? What? This dude's still talking about. That man has passed away, man. Said Trump would never have. Yeah. Yep. Brainwashed. Yep. Brainwashed. Brainwashed. Well, why are you bringing up what he did? Who said that? Look, that's done. I care about the U.S. troops who are at risk. I mean, I can't control what America does and who they choose to assassinate. So, but I do care about the American troops being put in harm's way. You got people in Dubai. I don't know how many people over there. They got to get on that plane too. It ain't just getting out of Dubai. Hey, you got to get on that plane. You don't know who's on that plane. You don't know what kind of people they are. It could be some Islamic terrorists on that plane, and you trying to get home from Dubai. And this is at a time when we are going heavy for America first. Heavy. It's just a matter of time before this escalates and gets worse. Now they've been saying that Trump has been putting out peace feelers. He said he thought Iran was expected to quit. Well, Iran's still fighting. And people are saying he underestimated Iran. And many people have gone so far to say this is the end of the U.S. They're saying that U.S. dominance because of economics, because they're going to have a depleted military. No telling, the people what the American people are going to do. They're saying we're basically going to change places with a country like an Iran. Will no longer be a world power. Now I don't agree with that, but they believe this was a horrible mistake to get into this conflict. Uh, I don't think I don't think I don't think that Trump should continue this war. I think he needs to, if Iran doesn't want peace, if Iran is saying, okay, I'll give you peace when we're finished, Trump needs to get out of this. There's nothing he can do about that. So they got the Gaza Strip, that's war torn. If they take down Tel Aviv, that would be a war torn. That'd be pretty hard. Then that's got to be all rebuilt. Says Trump is compromised and it hurts people's feelings. I don't know why, because it's been like that for decades. We're not America first, we're Israel first. Yeah, but that's the thing. Even Fox News can't really, at this moment, conservative talk radio, Fox News, they can't really, they can't pull that off. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Muslims are pretty extreme. Yeah, you're right. We hope he's prepared, but see, this isn't a business. This isn't, war is not a business. The whole intimidation thing, that's not working with Iran. That's not working with them. The whole be afraid, you guys better watch out because we're gonna turn it up. Well, Iran knows you can't really use nuclear weapons. So they're not afraid of that. And The countries are turning down America, as far as Spain. They don't want bases there. They're not co-signing this conflict. They don't agree. And just like in this chat, I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but he's going to lose American support if the body count gets bigger. And the guys that Trump respects, they've both come out and made statements about this war. Putin and what's the guy? Chang Zing. They both come out against this. And Trump, those are the people he looks up to. And another aspect of the military, right, is who joins. You take middle class, their kids almost like poultry. Their kids are created to then go and die in foreign wars. That's not the wealthiest kids that's going over there. Yeah, yeah, they're looking at estimates about one, I mean, about 800, 900 casualties. And they're saying that they're suppressing the numbers. Well, who's surprised by that? Who's surprised by that? They say that the numbers are being suppressed. They're saying that there's a blackout on information. Um, from what I've seen on Twitter, we're losing. We're losing. I don't know if this is AI. The gunk thing, it keeps telling us that those videos are legitimate videos. Saying that Gaza will be an inhabitable pile of rubble in 5 weeks. Yep, million of Israeli immigrants headed to the United States. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? There's 6 million Israelis, I mean 7 million. And in a time when they're talking about get the 20 million illegals out, they would bring in 8, 9 million immigrants. Israel expected Israel expected that whole country to cave and give in after it successfully got put in those assassinations. They expected Iran's resolve to evaporate. Iran knows that the best thing they can do is drag this fight on. Drag it on. They got rid of those bases. They got rid of all the U.S. installations, your places where you can refuel, where you can launch, because they know America, because of where we're located, they'd have to go somewhere else. Well, a lot of existing countries like Spain and I think India, but that you start getting in the distance, and when you get in the distance, you can be detected. See, if you're close, and because of the speed, you have it's harder to detect missiles and an attack. But if you way, they can see you coming, and then they can protect themselves. And once again, it costs money to be here in America and fight a war over there. Troops are being deployed, American troops, and I just don't know how they're going to justify a body count. I'd say within a week, we'll finally realize there's over 1,000, maybe 2,000 American citizens have lost their lives looking for nukes that don't exist. Yep, going to war with people who've been fighting all their lives, people who know exactly how to clean water, find food, sleep in tents. We're not like that. We don't live like that. Fortunately. But that's not where their anger lies. We know their anger lies with their Middle Eastern neighbor. Oh, and gas prices finna go up too. Gas prices are finna go through the roof. A country of 9 million people are controlling a country of 350 million like they are on a dog on a leash. Yeah. Yep. It was the thing about Vietnam. It was hard to sail Vietnam and the length of it, and then America didn't win the conflict. So people felt like we're over there trying to spread democracy for what? If them people want to live like that, let them. And it cost American lives. That was another problem with it. Yeah, he ain't a very strategic guy. He's a businessman though. He's going to fight it this way. He the Pentagon, they discussed it with him. What are your thoughts? We're thinking about going into Iraq. What do you think? The advisors told him we're short with our weapons. Not to mention it doesn't serve US interest. And he said, well, he don't give a damn what they think. He's the president. And he ignored them. Now, to individuals who've never served, it's not going to matter. You've never served your country, it don't matter. And you may even be impressed with a man who says, I'm not going to listen to the experts. I'm going to do it my way. And the thing about that, you got to get out of that. And if we make, and another thing for us, we don't want a mistake to be made. You can make a mistake, a missile can go the wrong way, could hit the wrong ship. Now you're drugged into World War III. And a lot of people don't think that we can win those battles. They don't think we can beat Iran. He said he was trying to get the board of peace. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I wanted to get this in, man. I wanted to pay my respect. I mistakenly identified the wrong sailors this morning. I wanted to pay my respect to the American service members who were the first casualties of this military conflict. There's 6 of them. We see 4. The other 2 identities will be revealed. Rest in peace. Gone too soon. And I got the join link posted, man. I know it's late night, but had to squeeze it in. Had to squeeze this stream in. Yeah, I see all of the things on it, and I was listening to Nick Fuentes, and he was saying that United States is being used. They're just being used by Israel to serve Israeli interest, and we can't afford it, but we're going to pay for it. Not to mention now we're paying in human lives. One thing to pay in money, but now we're paying in human lives. Here we go.
What's going on, Platt?
What's up with you, Resurrect?
I'm all good. Thanks
Go
for
ahead.
having me up.
I
Oh,
know
it's
you. Yeah, you know
my
this stuff.
my phone is messed up, ain't it?
Not
Can
really.
you? Okay. Well, now I'm like you, man. I've been listening to a lot. There's this Chinese professor. He
Hmm.
actually grew up in Canada. But this dude, he does game theory, and he predicted that this was gonna happen in 2024. Anyway, man, this dude is saying that it's not really what Nick Fuentes was saying. That's the big misnomer. He's saying that Israel is America's interest in the Middle East. So we have been trying to cut off China from getting to you know energy resources, making it more difficult for them because we do not want them to challenge us economically, even though it's inevitable. So as far as the energy, when Maduro down in Venezuela got taken, he had just inked a deal with China. that same day, and then United States came in and took them. And so now, Iran supplies China with a bunch of oil. So United States is trying to disrupt that.
Well,
So Trump doesn't care about necessarily winning this war. They just want to disrupt that. But it doesn't seem too logical because from what I'm hearing, we don't have enough weapons to keep on resupplying to shoot down those drones. And Iran could just wear us down, especially Israel, down with attrition. Just keep on hitting them with those drones. And there's nothing they can do about it.
yep, and that's pretty much what they're going to do. That's what it looks like they're going to do. They're going to play the long game. That they probably was expecting when they assassinated their leaders, they probably was expecting Trump to call to say, "Hey, this was a 2-day, 3-day war. We took out the leaders. Now we want to have influence. We want to install a puppet government that serves our interest." But Iran is not going to do that. So they're still fighting.
They're still fighting. Now, Platt, supposedly there is a financial system that's being set up with countries alternative to the Bretton Woods system, which is the Western-based system, IMF and the World Bank. And the reason why they did it was because when the conflict started with Ukraine, Russia had like 300 billion in banks in America, and Joe Biden and them, they took their money. So when the other countries saw this, they were like, "Damn, well, if the United States get mad at us, they can take our stuff just like this." So this new system is based on 40% of their currency is based on gold. That's why gold is going through the roof. China and Russia are the number one and number two countries that's getting gold, that's mining gold. They're doing it. So they're going to challenge, they're going to try to challenge the United States for this financial hegemony. And supposedly, they have a plan. Russia and China have both talked to Kim Jong Il in North Korea. So supposedly, while we are bogged down with this war in Iran, Kim Jong Il up there in North Korea is going to start something with South Korea. Then we got this Iran Middle East thing going. Then we still got the thing in Ukraine going. They're going to try to spread us too thin. You see how that's going to go? Almost like,
Well,
with Hitler.
no, that's not them, that's us.
Well,
No, I hear what you're saying. No, that's us. See, that's why you can't do what they're doing. That's one of the reasons you can't really fight a war that far away, because you can't put what you need over there without making yourself be weak in other places.
That's right.
And we know, I mean, I don't know what Trump and DB will do. I don't know about that. If they wanted to use nuclear weapons, they could go park a submarine off the coast and shoot one or two and be done with it. So clearly they
Well,
don't want to do that. So that's what I mean. So they want to
well,
keep it
if they
conventional.
couldn't do it because Russia, I think Russia and other countries would jump in if Israel or United States decided to use nuclear weapons. That would be devastating, man. That means
China would, yeah. We'd be in a world war.
Pakistan would. That would be the end.
And see, Trump is estimating that he's friends with Putin and all that. He's estimating that Putin would join him. Like he said, forget NATO. Well, he would just be the United States and Israel against the world. I don't know if they're gonna. That's probably not going to work.
It's probably not going to work. It's not going to work because I mean, look, you've seen, like you were saying, Spain said no, you can't use our bases. I heard Trump up there saying, "Look, man, we're gonna put some things on Spain that's gonna hurt them real bad. But if we wanted to, we could use their air bases if even if they said no. He's a bully, but there's a lot of anti-American sentiment around the world, and I think that that's just the sign of the times, man. We are a falling empire, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it's money. The money.
Yeah,
You know, this is not the same America.
yeah,
And that was the thing about America when they get into war, or at least these world wars, right? It brought the nation together.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of the social strife. We were one. We became one.
yeah.
We were more together. Um,
Well, of
now,
course. Hmm.
yeah, but see, we never had a president like Trump.
Well,
We never
think
had a.
about it. Go ahead. I didn't mean to
I was
cut you.
going to
Go
say
ahead.
we never had a partisan president up there who basically said if you didn't vote for him, he didn't give a damn.
Well, the reason why the United States was so strong after World War II, though, was because basically Europe was building itself out of the rubble because they had bombed each other to death. And, China was way behind because they had walled themselves off. Um, so we were the manufacturing leader at the time. And we were also the financial leader at the time. The US dollar became the number one currency after World War II. Um, but over time, everybody caught up to us. We kept on spending. We wasn't good stewards with the money, and we shipped all the manufacturing over to China. How could we stay on top? They say there was this historian. His name was Carol Quigley. He said in his book, he said that the world leader always goes to the country that has the best innovation and the most manufacturing. And right now, that's in China.
Well, um, I follow you on a person said it, but if we do lose our position, it'll be by our own mistakes.
Well, yeah, yeah. The globalists control the United States. I don't think Trump is calculating and doing all this stuff based on what he. Trump is, he's bought and paid for, man. I think Trump was going to go to jail, and the only way he didn't is because they told him, "We'll let you get in that White House again, but you got to do everything that we want." And it seemed like it's obvious now. Um, he had a big time donor named Marion Adelson, who is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and she's the one that's trying to get gambling into the state of Texas. Big time, she's one of them people, and she's a Zionist.
Yeah,
So the
okay, man.
Zionists and the and the
No, I
and the
can't believe you.
neocons.
I can't believe you said that because that's one of the white supremacists.
Hmm.
That's one of the things they say about. Now you
Well,
said now you brought up gambling because they be saying, well, that stuff don't come from the porn, the gambling. They say, where you think all that stuff come from?
oh well. I just know that she is spearhead. She is spearheading the campaign to get gambling into Texas because
But
Texas
that's what
still
I'm
don't
saying.
have it.
That's one of the
What?
biggest complaints from them about uh, Jewish people.
Oh
They
well, I did see you said that. Well, I've heard that too, though.
Yeah,
I have
that's what
heard that
that was funny that you would say that she would be trying to do that. But
she
but
would
go
be
ahead,
trying.
brother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going off on a slight tangent. Remember the dude that got all those women, those black women, pregnant up in New York? He's a professor, the sperminator.
Okay,
Guess what he is?
okay,
He's
all
one
right.
of them. Yeah. So like when it comes to other people besides them, and I think Epstein alluded to it a little bit in some of his excerpts. They consider everybody else to be goyim.
Yeah, yeah, I
That's
know,
the
I know.
term. So so they don't really care
Yeah,
about.
livestock.
Yeah, they don't really care about us. They can
Well,
lie.
that's their
We're
faith.
Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? So we're
You know
beneath.
what's really crazy is Whoopi Goldberg, right? That is their faith, like the what they believe they practice, right?
Yeah,
But what's crazy to me is Whoopi Goldberg. She's always been Jewish, right?
yeah.
And she's been suspended from the View twice for anti-Semitism.
Semitism.
And I
Yeah,
mean, like that's sort of strange. She's Jewish,
yeah,
and I said I don't think they even look at her as a real Jew though. But I mean, she could be what she want to do. But I
yeah.
said, man, that just show you, man. I said that woman. I said they don't consider that woman no Jew, man.
Not in the sense that they are, even though Sammy Davis Jr. converted to that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so she's not the first, and maybe it gives them a little bit of protection and a little bit more exposure in Hollywood when they do that. I don't know, but um, it's man, this the United States, man. I'm just hoping that, and I know this is shot in the dark, but I'm just hoping that a lot of people don't have to lose their lives. But I think it's over. It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
gonna happen.
impossible.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
This is a bad time for people to be joining up with the service because they going, and it might get to the point where they start
Um,
doing the conscription.
they're gonna
Black
probably
Wayne.
have to. They're probably gonna have to do that. But this is the thing. They go because this is a different America. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is those the people in Iran are living in caves. They're sleeping in barns. They're used to living like that. We're not. We get Uber. We live
Uh
with air conditioning. So when they go to get their troops, man, that's going to be
huh.
a hell of a boot camp to get them ready to go live in a mountain.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's yeah, we the American soldier, Marine, whatever is soft compared to the days past when America was hard. Where when America, people worked 16-hour days and didn't complain in a hot steel mill or whatever, or out
Mhm.
on a cattle ranch or on a plantation, whatever. Everybody was hardened because they worked hard. The work that people do in America now is nothing compared to what it used to be. So we are soft. We soft. And it might be a wipeout, man.
Mhm. A
Might
guy
be a
in the chat,
wipeout.
a guy in the chat says, "What the hell? I'm a Marine, and so are my sons now. Good for you."
Hey, well,
Uh,
proud of you, my brother. And you you probably aren't who I'm talking about. You
what's up with
probably
you?
not who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
What's up with you, Darnell?
Hey, not much, Platinum. Thank you for having me.
What's up?
Well, I mean, I know this is been much talked about today, but like, man, I really think, you know, uh President Trump is like, I mean, he effing up here, man. Like, I think he's punch drunk off his success in Venezuela, and and Cuba. Now he's like, okay, well, since I'm having success here, I can go to the Middle East, get rid of I mean, well, he was successful in getting rid of the Ayatollah, you know. But like, trying to I'm like, at what cost, man? At what cost? Like, this is a whole new beast. Iran at this point has nothing to lose. I mean, you see how they're retaliating. They don't give a damn. They firing at airports. So they're firing at whoever they can fire at. And pardon shot.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't, hey man, if I can't defeat the United States, I may as well cause as much damage on the way out the door before I go.
Well, It's 93 million people there.
Hmm.
Israel, it's what, 9 million. Both of those countries, because they're close enough, are going to cause a lot of damage to each other. So the United States with MAGA, Make America Great Again, get rid of the ICE, get rid of the illegal immigrant. You're looking at the possibility. I don't mean from Iran, but Israel. You're looking at an influx of immigrants if things go bad. So it would be a complete disaster for Trump because he's lost the respect of the world. They're no longer considered the world leaders. Like you say, people may not want to deal with us. We're already with NATO. Maybe NATO don't want us. And then you got an influx because you got to remember, and this is in the midst of all of this anti-immigrant in America only. You have this influx of immigrants from Israel and the money that's got to be given to them and all this. So I mean, this is the timing would be horrible.
Well, the only immigrants I could see Israel that would be coming from Israel would probably be women and children if there is an influx. I highly doubt they're allowing men to leave the country right now. Because who's going to fight? You see what I'm saying? There's just no way in hell, unless they're like older men that hey man, this guy, he's past his
Old,
prime.
older men can't fight.
Say that again.
The older men can't fight. You might as well have no men.
Right. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Those are the only men I would see leaving the country. So I don't know about. I hadn't heard the influx of you said Israeli immigrants coming here. I hadn't heard that.
No. I said if the country gets destabilized,
If okay.
If America and Israel just completely underestimated Iran,
Hmm.
and they do what they said they're going to do, is take all of those drones that they have, the 2,000 drones that they
Hmm.
have that they can dispose of, keep sending that in to get those missiles, get all of those U.S. missiles. And they was talking about all of those defense systems, how they're much more expensive than the drones. And
They are.
if you could bleed them down, so because you got to manufacture. We're short on supplies. You can't just make that stuff. Take time to make. So
Hmm.
if they can get them where they're depleted, and then they can go in with the expensive weapons they have from China or wherever they got them, and then
Hmm.
they could come in behind with better munitions to cause more damage. And the way I was
Well,
looking at that, if that happens, they won't be
mhm.
able to live there.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
think about this. They don't want, Netanyahu is in trouble with his people too. So because they say they were the Jewish courts were supposed to be trying Netanyahu on war crimes also. So this works in his favor as well. If you know Israel gets damaged pretty bad and the people have to leave because they won't be thinking about him in that respect. They'll be thinking about preserving, getting away first, and then preserving the place second. You know.
Yeah, and then my thing is the debt. Just the Pentagon is telling you it's a bad deal to do it, and you say, "Well, I'm a businessman. I heard what you say. I'm a businessman. I can make these people surrender in 2 days." And the Pentagon, they're saying no, we don't, and we don't have the supplies. If it lasts a particular amount of time, we'll be out of supplies. In addition, we have to maintain supplies for ourselves. We can't just say, "Let's give me everything you got." Then we don't have anything. We become vulnerable.
Yeah. Did
And who
Trump
makes
really? Did Trump really say that he was going to defeat Iran in 2 days? Did he really
Yeah,
make that? Or
what he was told and what he believed, that if you cut the head off the fish, obviously the Ayatollah, if you
Mhm.
knock out their leadership, the people were going to be in the streets cheering because the people want to be a democracy, and that they could then install a puppet government that they could control. And
You know, that reminds me when we were in when George Bush wanted to invade Iraq. You remember they said the Iraqis were going to throw roses at our feet and all this other crap. You know, as soon as we get a Saddam out of power. How well did that work back then?
No,
you know,
no. It became what they cut it up with the Islamic factions.
Yeah. That's all that happens is you just create power vacuums. I mean, not that I'm saying Saddam was this great man or anything, you know. He definitely was a cruel man, but the problem that you had was after he was removed from office, a power vacuum created. Next thing you know, you got Al Qaeda in Iraq, because you didn't have Al Qaeda in Iraq. Saddam would not allow those people in Iraq, you know. He feared, because he feared, they would go after him. So he didn't allow those people there. Next thing you know, then it turns into something even more dangerous, ISIS. And the same thing will happen in Iran. Is you're going to have more radical groups all vying for power.
Have you listened to Lindsey Graham? He just cares about Iran being destabilized and they won't be able to sponsor state-sponsored terrorism, quote unquote, anymore. He don't care how that country is living, but he just wants to make sure that they will never be able to mount a challenge basically to Israel or any of their vassal states like Saudi Arabia. Because Saudi Arabia is crying too. They're saying that America has turned their back on them.
But here's the problem with that thinking is, okay, again, we said using Iraq as an example, same thing. Iraq became destabilized, and next thing you know, a group called ISIS damn near took over the country. They almost took over Syria. They almost took over Iraq. Hell, even Iran said, "Oh, these people gotta go."
It said that ISIS is created and controlled by the West, though, man. Controlled opposition.
It's possible.
No.
Oh,
hell no.
Oh yeah.
Hell no. That's a crazy conspiracy.
Open your mind, my brother.
Dude, I was over there in the Middle East. I spent plenty of time in the Middle East, and I'm telling you, they were not created by the United States. Okay, there is no way in hell you can convince me.
The Bin Laden family were friends and business partners of the Bushes, man.
Yes, and what they don't tell you is that Osama bin Laden was disowned from his family.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that may be, but what I'm telling you is, I don't really think so, man. I think that when it comes to organizations and groups like that, I think they are used in certain situations to create upheaval, because they use ISIS and ISIL not only against opposition in the West, but also against people like Putin. They use them against their enemies. It's been said.
I'm sorry, I got to cut you off here, but how much time did you spend in the Middle East?
I haven't spent any time in the Middle East.
Okay, when you spend about 5-6 years over there, like I have, and you've been in some of these briefings and things of that nature, and you kind of know a little bit more about what's going on.
Hold
on a second. Then you can come and tell me about all this crazy conspiracy theories.
But if listen, you don't think your senior level people are just following orders? They couldn't be misled.
I am telling you, all the money we spent over there, Again,
Yeah,
all the briefings I have
that's money
attended,
laundering.
all the
That's money
things I have
laundering.
seen.
Yeah,
No, you're a
a lot
crackpot.
of money got laundered over there. You
I'm
can't
sure
deny
it
that.
did.
They were
I'm
selling
sure it
dope.
did.
They were bringing a lot of dope from Afghanistan because that's when the heroin
Okay,
epidemic
okay,
blew
but
up.
now you're all over the place.
Yeah,
Now
I'm
we
not
were
all
talking
over
about
the place.
ISIS.
oh,
You
hold up.
are. We were talking about ISIS. Now you're
I'm
bringing
gonna
up
stay there.
heroin.
I'm gonna stay.
Resurrect. We don't do the conspiracy thing. Okay, you getting
Thank you.
that's a little bit conspiracy. I get. Hold up, resurrect. I'm sure. Guess what? You're right, but we can't get into that territory. All right, there you go. You won that one, resurrect. Go ahead, Darnell.
Yeah, I'm just saying from a standpoint of okay, the things that I have seen. There is just no way in hell you can sit up here and argue with me that Uncle Sam created ISIS so we can go over there. I mean, all
Mhm.
the damn money, the trillions of dollars we spent,
Yep,
you know, to
yep.
go fight
Who made
an
money?
invisible enemy.
Who made the money?
Hell, I made some of that money.
Yeah, who benefited? Like always follow the money. Who
I
benefited
benefited.
from that?
I
Nah, but you
benefited.
a small.
Do you think
I'm talking about who. What entities benefited the most from that conflict? Those conflicts, those big companies, Raytheon, Boeing, the military-industrial complex that President Eisenhower was talking about, that President Kennedy was talking about.
yes,
And,
It
and,
was
and,
actually it was Eisenhower. He did mention the speech, but what it had more to do with was be careful. He warned Kennedy, be careful about listening to the generals,
yep.
okay? Because they will
Mm-hmm.
try to get you involved in all these different conflicts and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you how easy the things were.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, Kennedy. The generals wanted him to go to war in Cuba, you know, and he compromised, did the CIA, allowed the CIA to fund the Bay of Pigs or so do the Bay of Pigs invasion because he really didn't want a military conflict. That was a disaster, you know. So I'm not saying, hey, that, you know, our government, is always playing, is this great entity that always plays by the rules and all this other stuff. But I'm saying that our government create, or hell, even Raytheon or Lockheed Martin or whoever created ISIS, you know, um, just so we could spend all this money and struggle against this group. It's like
There,
creating a disease that you don't have a cure for.
but there's always been beliefs, Darnell, that Hamas. They said Israel's created Hamas.
Yes, sir. Because they didn't want to deal with Yasser Arafat, the PLO, because he was dead set on a two-state solution, and Israel never will settle for a two-state solution. So they created a controlled opposition,
Yes.
Hamas.
Well, no, and also they wanted to get the Well, look, you know what I'm getting at. Look,
No,
I
you're
don't
right. You're
even. No,
right,
I
Flav.
got you. We just have to go.
They
We
they
probably have to
wanted
go.
Hamas to be the radical, so
No,
they
no,
can
no.
have an excuse
Yeah, yeah, to justify what
to
like, but
justify. Yes.
they keep saying there's a weapon there, but they're afraid they're going to get hit. Oh, they're building a weapon. We're not building a weapon. Oh, they have a weapon. We got to go in and attack them. So what? You want to do what you say? We want to attack you. You just want to justify attacking us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
It's just like weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, man. It was a lie.
yep, yep.
Don't you
And
see the same, Darnell? You see the same playbook, bro?
There's that's one thing about talking about weapons of mass destruction that somebody doesn't have. That's one thing. Yes, you're right about that lie. We all know today it was
Iran
a
don't have
lie.
what Iran has always said. They're not trying to build a nuclear weapon, but they
Yeah, but
but they
that's
would
not
be a
true. We
fool.
we 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 know they do.
No, and look, they would be a fool not to,
well,
because
Oh,
if
I
you
But
If you
You got,
don't, you get ran over.
but yeah,
You don't
hold
I
up,
got no
hold up,
mean,
sovereignty.
wait a
you,
minute,
you
hold up.
get, you get no argument from me there.
Okay, hold
You
up, hold
know,
up.
I,
Go
I
look
think
at
the evidence speaks for itself on
Yeah,
that one.
right, right. Go
go
ahead. I'm
look
sorry.
go look at Kim Jong Un. Is that his name?
Well,
Uh, North Korea.
his father is the one that, his father was still alive when North Korea had its first nuke.
That's
Yeah,
what
they
I'm
don't.
saying. They did not want him to go nuclear, and he
Mhm.
kept saying, he said if I don't, they're going to invade me. He said I don't trust the United States. They kept saying, South Korea, you can't go nuclear and be that close to South Korea. That man said F you, and he got it.
Yeah,
And he
that's because Bush's axis of evil speech when he called North Korea part of the axis of evil. Because Clinton, they signed a deal with Clinton where they weren't going to develop a nuke, and after Bush had said, called them an axis of evil and stuff like that, and was talking about invading Iraq, and then he invades Iraq. That's when North Korea's like, fuck this shit. We're building our nuke.
Hey, we getting
You
on.
know,
Hey, we gonna get on the horse and get this shit done.
yeah. Because that's a problem. That's been a problem of the United States. Recently for the past, I would say 20, 30 years. Hell, I would say you can go back probably to the Reagan administration. It used to be American policy used to be the same for decades. It would change, but pretty much the new guy would pretty much do the same thing as the last guy. Case in point, the Truman Doctrine. When Truman was president, he wanted to have a policy and containment on communism. Every president since Truman fought against communism. Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon. Um, Under Carter, Ford wasn't president long enough, but Carter, he did a few things, but it kind of, started to cool off, and then Reagan reheated it up. But now after Reagan, if you notice, you know, every new president undoes what the last president did. In the 90s, we had the Kyoto Treaty. It was the first climate treaty, limiting emissions. And Bush said, "Oh hell no!" He tore that shit up. Look what Trump did when after Obama's 8 years, he tore up everything Obama did. He don't give a fuck, you know. Um, and then Trump second term, he tore up everything Biden did.
On certain things they will. But I was just looking at a clip of 3-star General Wesley Clark back in
4 star,
2000 and in
four.
2004, 2005, and he
He's a
said he was
four
four
star
star.
general.
Okay, well he said he was called into the Pentagon, and they told him, "Hey, we're going into Iraq." He was like, "For what?" He was like, "I don't know." So anyway, he said at that time, because he was doing this
Mm-hmm,
interview in like 2006, he said at that
mm-hmm,
time they told him they were going to take Iraq, Libya, Syria, Lebanon, and lastly Iran.
mm-hmm.
To do what with?
They wanted to depose them, those states.
Destabilize them.
Depose the leaders and
What,
destabilize.
what about all the people? What's going to happen to the people?
They don't give a dang on about those people. You see what's going on with Syria? I mean, with Syria now. You see what's going on with Libya, which was a thriving country with Gaddafi. You see what's going on with Lebanon. Lebanon is not nowhere. They say Beirut used to be a beautiful place. It's not no more. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it was at one time, but that was a long time
in the
ago.
80s, like when I was a kid during the Reagan administration. But they just worried about expanding Israel. They got a plan for a greater Israel. They want
I
to
would
expand
say
it.
I think Israel might have those plans. As far as the United States, I really don't think. we care too much about expanding Israel.
Oh yeah, because our politicians are Zionists. I mean, they care about Zionism, and that is the advancement of Israel, man. I mean,
I
Ted Cruz
mean,
just gave a interview talking about his beliefs.
don't get me wrong. I mean, yes, we do support Israel, quite a bit. We are probably one of Israel's biggest allies,
Sure.
but I don't think that, we're trying to expand them into this to help them take over the entire Middle East. Because
Why not? If not, I mean, they are the United States' interest in the Middle East. So if they have control of the entire,
only one reason for that. They're the only democracy in the Middle East.
no, Iran actually has a bigger democracy than them. They have elections. They had elections, brother.
Yeah, but let's face it, the Ayatollah before his death was always in charge.
I don't believe they had elections, brother. Ahmadinejad was their president at once. You know they killed Ahmadinejad. Yeah.
Well, hold on.
I didn't know they killed him, but
yeah, he got killed. They bombed him, man. Okay. Them dudes. Yeah. Go ahead. Watch the, Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Delete.
No. I looked the word up, and its other thumbnails was mostly news channels, and they put the K word. So hopefully,
well, I'm gonna stay delete. I'm gonna still keep it.
Yeah. No, I got you. But check it out. Damn. Yeah, you know how that happens.
Hey, Platt, they say that Ayatollah, man, they was telling that Ayatollah, hey, man, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. He said, nah, man, if I run now, where else am I going to run? He stood 10 toes down. 86 years old. He had cancer. He knew they was coming. He ain't run.
Okay.
Hey, well, like you said, where was he going to go?
They had bunkers. They got bunkers, man. He didn't want to run.
He could have ran somewhere, but damn. Oh yeah, Israel. Go look the elections up. They don't have the type of elections you think they have. It's completely different. No, it's just the way they vote here, and then this group has to vote. And it's almost like, what is that? Like the Hall of Fame, shit like that. It's like
a certain group.
Yeah, it's a bunch of, it ain't like U.S. You win the primary, then you go against your opponent, and then you either elected or you're not. Mm-hmm. Nah, you get voted on, and then it has to go in front of a group, and then a council, and then you get voted on again, and you got to get this percent. It's crazy. It's weird, and then people say elections. That ain't really no election.
It's worse than electoral college.
Theirs is what you call a multi-party system. So unlike the United States where you got two main parties, it's easier for somebody our elections for the most part are a lot easier. Yes, the electoral college does complicate things a little bit, as we have seen a few times in American history. But even in Europe, you'll see the same style of elections, in European democracies, where, okay, it's a bunch of people, it's a bunch of different parties and people all running. None of them have the required votes. So a lot of times they have to build coalitions, basically make deals. Brazil's another country where, okay, they have to get an X amount. I want to say, don't quote me on it, but let's say 51% of the vote. What they do is, the guy that did the worst typically drops out, and then they do another round of elections. So they do different rounds. That's what I think you're referencing, Platt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't now. Iran is a theocracy, right?
Yes, pretty much. Like I said, it's true they had a president, but
no, it's governed by what, the Quran, right?
Well, it was the Ayatollah.
No, I know, but I'm saying basically there's a central figure, but basically, if you it's like it goes by the rules of the Quran. Like if stoning and all of that stuff from
Mhm.
forcing the Quran. You could have multiple wives.
Sharia law. Yeah,
Sharia law.
Yeah,
Sharia.
but
Yeah,
Okay.
but the entire Middle East is practically runs off of that.
yeah.
You know,
Saudi
Saudi
Arabia.
Arabia, yeah,
Yeah.
they do the same exact thing.
It's just that Iran is Shiite, and most of the other countries in the Middle East are Sunni.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say
I
because
said most.
well, to be
I didn't
honest
say
with
all.
you, no, I know what you mean. But what I was just saying was they have so many different ethnicities out there. Like
Yeah.
I found out in Afghanistan alone, for example, there's like 8 or 9 different ethnicities all living in Afghanistan.
Hmm.
Like I didn't even know that till I got out there. You know, um, and the Middle East is, and so the entire Middle East is kind of the same thing. They're all like there's more than just Sunnis and Shias. There's a
Well,
lot
you
more.
got those Kurds that
Yep.
the Turkish people don't like.
Nobody
Tur-
likes the Kurds.
the Turkish people was trying to wipe the Kurds out, but remember the United States was using the Kurds to go against Saddam.
Yep.
And then they were using the Kurds to go against that one cleric that had taken power after Saddam got toppled. You were over there. I forgot he was a little chubby dude. I forgot the dude's name. But they were using the Kurds to go against him because he wasn't complying with the game plan all the way. But that's what I'm saying. Like they use different groups to fight against each other also. But
Yeah. Yeah. The United States is notorious for doing stuff like that. Like, um, Nicaragua, for example. When you had this
Sandinistas and
Sandinistas.
the Contras.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
supported the Contras, claiming, "Oh yeah, they're about democracy, this and that." No, they were just a brutal dictatorship. The Batista regime in Cuba, same thing.
Yeah.
He was just he was a corrupt dictator. That was
The
taken.
Shah of Iran. Corrupt.
Shah of Iran was another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Anybody that does good by their people, see, in order for capitalism to really work, it works off of exploitation. So if the leader of a country that has these great natural resources that the United States or any Western country needs, and he's trying to do right by his people, oh, you got to go. That's not what
yeah.
you were in power for. I mean, let's face it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's why we installed the Shah in the first place.
Right.
They actually had the Iranians had their own election. They
Yeah.
elected a guy that was going to. He
Nationalize
was,
their oil.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Brits that affected more the British than us, but
Mm-hmm.
the Brits asked for our help.
That's right.
You know, and we
And
we
did
sent one man, and he fucking took down a government
now check
with
it
a
out.
bag full of money.
They did that to Iran. And I think you're talking about that was Roosevelt's nephew. But then
Yeah,
think of
Kermit
Herman
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. Yeah. But then think about modern day in the Western Hemisphere. Hugo Chavez did that for Venezuelan, for his people. He nationalized the oil. And what happened? Same thing. They had to get rid of Hugo. Died of
Well,
cancer mysteriously. And
I
then
mean, I'm not.
Maduro didn't do what he, they wanted him to do, so they had to get rid of Maduro ultimately.
Well, but the thing is, as far as Hugo Chavez, yeah, we hated Chavez. I think we might have. I can't remember. I don't think we did stage a coup. I know he accused us of it.
You don't
But
think? Okay, go ahead.
no, I mean, because the man remained in power basically up until his death. So
Well, he came
obviously,
back. Remember, he got knocked off and put in prison and everything, and then he got out and got elected.
Yeah, yeah. Hugo Chavez got elected, but again, he remained in power.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, basically to the end of his life. As far as Maduro, I mean, hell, we wanted shit. How many presidents wanted Maduro gone? Biden wanted him gone too. You
Yeah,
know,
because you know why? Remember, Biden and them was asking him to supply us with more oil during the pandemic, and he was like, "Nah, man, go on." He he told Biden, "Get the fuck, get on."
Yeah. Well, they all of that stuff is United, and the United States will influence elections. They will do it, and see, this is what people are starting to see. Unfortunately, I guess in the age of social media, when you grow up, like we're talking about World War II and Vietnam, you grow up with Russia or Germany. These are the bad guys, right? They do all of this stuff. They invade other countries and all of that. And then, but you look at America, right? You look at Obama, Libya. They went in there. Iraq.
Yeah.
They
Well,
went in there. That was America. Hold on. No, wait a minute.
yeah.
Like you got Putin going after Ukraine, right? He said, man, that is my fucking country. I'm trying to get back what's mine. But America's over there in Libya. They what they got to do with America? They over there in Libya influencing, taking out the leaders. You got,
Iraq.
yeah, Iraq now. Now we got Iran. So when you take a look, you got what, three superpowers for the most. Well, you got Pakistan and you got India, right? But you got America, China, and Russia. And Trump said he want Greenland. They cutting the whole world up, and America is not sitting back. And this is what Trump see now. Fighting with Israel, I don't agree with that. But him saying we're gonna take us a piece of the pie too, we're not just gonna always be here defending it. I agree with that. But I don't agree with that Israel shit. Going over there fighting Iran. I mean, if they want to mess with Iran, they shouldn't do it. They got 9 million people. They got 93. They got a bigger, they got a lot of defenses. They got a bigger army. Yeah, so
yeah,
Samson,
platinum,
Samson option.
but a
Samson option.
well, platinum. You got to remember though, this ain't the first time Iran. I mean, not Iran. Israel has had to go up against larger forces. You know, I mean, hell, they kicked the entire Middle East ass not once but twice.
but that was because of the United States, though. United
And
States,
Britain. It was not just them.
and the United States gives them just like the Chinese and who
Mhm,
some other people have given, not given, have sold these weapons to
mhm,
Iran. I mean, yeah,
mhm,
Iran to defend themselves. United States
mhm.
gave Iran way better weapons. Them countries didn't have weapons like that.
Well, but here's where you're wrong, Platinum. We also gave weapons to Iraq. Look what happened. A ragtag rebel started taking American tanks from a well-equipped Iraqi army. You know, same thing in Afghanistan. You know, we gave the Afghan government plenty of better weapons than the Taliban, and the Taliban just took it right back in 6 months. So
On that, I don't know
you're
nothing about you having your
yeah,
weapons taken from you. I'm just saying Israel is better supported than those other countries. And
Yeah.
and
but
and if
we
they had,
better supported Afghanistan. You know, we
they don't even look at, man, them people. How they gonna fight somebody on horseback? What do you? I mean, like supported them. I don't know. Maybe they don't even know how to
yeah,
use it. Maybe they didn't know how to use it.
Them,
But
we
them,
were
them,
we
the
were
people
there for
that,
20
I'm talking
we
about
were
those.
there for 20 years teaching
but the
them how to
people,
use it.
but
I
the
don't know.
people that we supported in Afghanistan wasn't the real, they wasn't the grassroots people.
And they're not going to give. Look, just like them lemon jets they sold to Kuwait. They're not going to give them good stuff.
Nah.
That junk, that stuff went nowhere.
And they caught Egypt them slipping too, man, because they were asleep when they bombed a lot of those MiG jets that were on the ground. They used a lot of British and American intelligence to do that attack they did in that 6 Day war. I was pissed off when I really searched. studied that, I really didn't, because the real rider for them at the Middle Eastern people was that dude Nasser, General Nasser of Egypt. But
Yeah, but that
he had a bunch of weak people riding with him.
yeah, but that's the best time to
Yeah, they
take
got
out your
him.
enemy is that's the best
Yeah.
time to take out your enemy is when he sleep.
Oh yeah. They caught him slipping. Man, I'm
Hmm.
telling you, man, is Israel, they are always on the cutting edge of doing some devious, some devious shit. Like those cell phones blowing up.
Oh, I was getting ready to bring that one up,
Oh yeah,
man. Dude,
they on the tip of the iceberg when it comes to some deep demonic devious type stuff, man. They'll do it.
You know the
you
funny
know,
thing. No, the funny thing, BB Netanyahu,
mhm.
right? I remember him. You remember back? Oh no, and rest in peace, Jesse Jackson. But you remember when Jesse Jackson was running for president? BB used to be on all those meet the not meet, uh, um, all of those little political shows, and uh, he was, he was like a Glenn Beck type dude. He was like a talk guy. And right now, this man is running Israel. It's like crazy because I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same guy. Because I think he's from like Iowa.
Nah, Pennsylvania.
Okay, that dude, I'm
Yeah,
saying he running Israel. That man was born in Pennsylvania.
yeah,
I didn't
And
know that.
yeah.
now
A lot of their leaders come from the states, though, like the prime ministers.
Well, I mean, a
That
lot. Well, you got to remember, Israel is is basically a brand new country. They haven't even been a country for 100 years.
1948. Yeah, Golda
Yeah,
Meir, that their female prime minister. She was raised up in Milwaukee.
yeah. You
well,
know,
if
they.
some no, if someone would ask me, do you think Bibi Netanyahu would be running at the head of what was that prime minister? I don't know what the title is.
Yeah,
Um,
prime minister.
Prime Minister of Iraq. Man, and he still is the same thing right now. Okay, he is, but he was a regular dude. You talking about maybe what 30 years ago, Bibi Netanyahu? If you walking down at the mall, he was just some white dude. He wasn't nothing special about him.
They always had plans for him, man. You know who else? Who else is pretty heavy hitter? And he's a he's a American politician. He's been a mayor, and he's also been in the White House staff. Um, what's his name? His brother runs a lot of the sports stuff. What's this guy? Rahm Emanuel.
Okay, that's Obama stuff, ain't it?
Yeah, but he was
Yeah,
the mayor of Chicago also.
yeah, he was.
He don't be surprised if Rahm Emanuel doesn't become a future Israeli prime minister.
Is Jewish?
Yeah,
Okay.
man, he got part of his hand blown off fighting over there for the IDF. Because they all got to do at least 2 years, I believe.
Yep, 2 years mandatory service.
And you know what,
You,
Platt? I think that might be good for America.
well, we used to have that. It was called the draft.
Yeah, I'm just
Well,
saying, just a mandatory service. It would make I think it would make a lot of the young men. It would make a hell of a difference.
I really don't think so, man. I mean, a part of it is you got to remember the American lifestyle, the American culture. It's just, I
If you don't do your
mean,
2 years, you're going to jail.
oh, they'll do their 2 years or whatever, or they'll get hurt, or or hell, they'll just do drugs so that way they can get chaptered out. You know, believe me, when I was in, man, I saw there was a lot of people. They normally didn't do drugs, man. They just start smoking marijuana. And they just smoke just enough marijuana just to pop hot on a piss test, so they didn't have to go to Iraq.
But then
You
don't you
know,
get a dishonorable?
no, you don't get dishonorable. You only get dishonorable. You got to do something really stupid to get dishonorable. Um, you get you'll get a general discharge. You'll get a general depending on the offense, how well the commander uh, or the battalion commander, I'm not gonna say likes you, but depending on the battalion commander, you could get a less than honorable, or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get a general honorable conditions.
your wherever you are, say right now you're in one of those Kuwait. You're in Kuwait.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to your command, not the top, not the guy,
Nah, but
not the captain.
battalion commander.
Yeah, who's in charge of you in a sense. Um, it works like this here. You do something stupid, or you do something you shouldn't have done. Say you go out, you get drunk, and they tell you 50 times, don't drink here. You say, Sharia law, you can't be drunk here. Don't be out. Don't leave the base if you've been drinking. Don't leave the base if you've been drinking. Don't leave the base. Say it every day. Don't leave this base if you've been drinking. You go out and get a goddamn DWI, right? And embarrass the command. It's up to that person that's been telling you that.
Yeah.
If it leads to they feel like they need to get you out of there.
Yeah.
That's what they go by. Like I said, it ain't gonna be the captain. It's gonna be that individual that's been telling you don't do it. And if he say, we gotta get this guy out of here. Now, obviously that's a DWI, but say there was a death involved. Okay, now that's different, right? So you embarrassed the commander, you was drunk, and you somebody died. So we gotta get rid of this guy. That's when it says he'll be like, okay, because you're going to have to deal with that either way. But he's going to say, okay, what kind of service member is this guy? Does he do a good job? Does he get along with the others? And they said, nah, he's late all the time. He's got an attitude. He don't want to do what he's told. Yeah, you're gonna get that dishonorable. That shit gonna hit you smack in the head.
Yeah, but you gotta unalive a guy or something. You gotta do something. Like I said, it's really stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, Darnell said he had a wrongful death. He
right.
He got drunk, and then
he's
out
unalive somebody.
Yeah, and then now they got in a wrongful death. That might, I don't know. It depends on the country. You might not have to do time for that, but what I'm saying is that the command is gonna have to take a look. They don't have to give you a dishonorable discharge for that. They
don't have to, but you will get a bad conduct.
No. Say they like you. No, I'm saying, listen, say they like you. Say you one of the top. They was talking about, we're going to give him just a special promotion. I mean, the guy he wrote up in your folder, this guy deserves to be promoted now. We need more of him, right? That's like that. And you get drunk and you do that. He's gonna go. I'm telling you, man, he's gonna go by that commander. That commander, that guy that's over the troops. If he goes in singing praises, saying this guy made a mistake, it was a big mistake, but let's not give up on this guy. We might have to separate him out of here, but still, when he goes back home, he can still be a quality citizen. And I don't want to just bear. I'm telling you that the captain don't know you. Them people in charge, they don't know you. They don't know nothing. They only know what that man tell them. So that man to think about it, he'll put down what he thinks, and that's what matters. What that commander thinks, and then they'll put you through your paces. Either court martial. Now that is different. The court martial. I don't think you can get anything else but a BCD or a dishonorable.
Yeah, court martial. Court martial is different because that's you're going before a officer who's basically a judge, and it's basically the same thing as committing a crime. Basically, you're on trial, or being accused of a crime, I should say. You're on trial. So that's a whole different story.
But neither one of them are appealing, man. You want to get the honorable, and or you just don't want to join. And if you do join, like now, you might get sent to these places, man. And guess what? You got to do your job.
Let me ask y'all this: if these females turn up pregnant over being deployed,
that happened.
Do
that happened.
they get a general discharge for doing that?
No, no, it's honorable. They can't give you they can't punish you for getting pregnant.
Oh man, that's a right. Cause they said that's what a lot of females probably gonna be doing.
They could relocate you.
They were doing that shit 20 years ago when I was there, man. You get a random knock on the door. I just want you to get me pregnant so I don't have to go to Iraq, you know. Yeah, that was common.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. They up here
Hmm.
twerking on the TikTok videos in the uniform, and they don't want to carry their nappy headed selves over to the. What's going on?
Man.
Y'all getting the GI
Yeah.
bills and all that, getting free college. You got to put in some work sometime.
Yeah. But yeah, the military they have a policy. You can't technically you can't be a single parent in the military technically. Okay. So like if you were to join the military, but you're a single parent, you would have to give up custody of your child. But let's say you were already in, but you got divorced. It used to be, this was years ago. I think they used to chapter women out if they became single parents, but you know, the military got taken to court, I think, about that. And they said, okay, all right, you know, we're not going to chapter you out, but you have to have like a family care plan if you got divorced.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the women. I've been stationed with women, and they got full pay and they got the maternity leave. That woman had like 3 kids.
Hmm.
She was pregnant 9 months. Kid, she had to recover. She probably worked out of 3 years, probably 4 months, 5 months.
Hmm.
That was a whole tour. She spent her whole tour. She was pregnant. Now, what they'll do is they'll just you'll get new orders in a different place. If you can't be pregnant, they'll station you somewhere else. You still got to do your job. You don't get out. And so, but I get you to, maybe you don't need to be in Iraq if you're pregnant. So
No, no, you can't serve in a combat zone and be pregnant. That actually happened to my NCO. She was married though. Her husband, you know, they deployed together. They claim it was when they decided to go on leave. You know, is when supposedly, you know, she got pregnant. You know, when she got back overseas, she discovered, she discovered she was pregnant. So she got sent back to the rear. She did stay in the military, but you know, she got sent back to the rear. You can't be deployed and pregnant at the same time.
and see, her husband, he was friends with the lieutenant, right? So what they call it, officers. What he was the I don't even know the name of it. He wasn't a he was just an officer.
No, he was no, he was an NCO. He was a staff sergeant, so he would have been a squad leader.
Well, because his wife was friends,
Mhm.
they didn't say nothing about it. She had 3 kids doing that tour, and only that when she got ready to transfer, they gave her like an achievement medal. It was like a nice. It was shit people trying to get, for your promotions, and she wasn't even there. The
Yeah,
woman
but
was
a
never there.
achievement medal is not even that high.
Well,
That's just
you
one
know,
step higher than a COA.
I
You
don't
know,
say I don't want. I say it's a medal, right? But what I'm trying to say, because I don't like to talk about. Look, she got a nice medal. Put it like that. I got you. They do have all of them are medals, right? All of them are okay. You're right. Some of them are pretty common, and then others are considered higher level, right? She got a. It
Yeah.
was a nice for somebody who was only there for 5 months out of 3 years. She got it was okay.
I
It,
mean,
it wasn't
but
like it wasn't like 2 levels up. It was stuff you have to work to get. Like you really have to impress people to get this.
I, I got to be honest with you, Platinum. How I got my first Army Achievement Medal.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't do anything the write up said I did. Not one damn thing. I'll never forget. I was at Yakima Training Center. You know, when I found out I was getting an AAM, and then as they were reading off the award, I'm like, man, it's saying Private Elliott did this, Private Elliott, he did that, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't do any of that. That was all my NCO. Honestly, I
Mhm.
didn't even know what the hell, what I'm saying I was doing. I mean, I was following orders. At that time, you got to understand, they had me working in the commo shop. I was not a trained commo person. We didn't have the right, personnel. We didn't have the proper MOSs, and in the Army, you're a soldier first. So, in your MOS second. So wherever the Army said, hey, this is what you need, this is what we need, this is what you're going to be doing. So basically, as a private, doing a job that I was never trained to do, I had to learn on, it took a couple years. I had to learn on, get OJT. But anyway, long story short, yeah, they gave me AAM on some bullshit, Army Achievement
I
Medal.
got you. I got you. I know a dude. He got this. It wasn't even a medal. It was a certificate.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
that's the Army would call it a COA, Certificate of Achievement.
but it was just a piece of paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, piece of parchment paper. Um,
This
yeah,
was
that
like I don't know. Okay. So what I'm saying is,
yeah
when he
that's the lowest award.
when he got it, um,
Mhm.
when he got it, we were messing with him because he was mad he didn't get a better medal, right? At
Mhm.
least something to pin on his chest, right? So, and we said, man, that's the type of shit. Because we could never, I didn't even know this shit existed till he showed up with it. And he said, man, that's the type of shit the captain give your kid after you done painted his parking space.
Yeah,
And they said, you up here getting shit. Yeah, I don't know why, it's what he got. So he could have thrown it away. I probably did throw it away.
yeah. I mean, just to put things in perspective, if you're if you're a junior enlisted soldier, they give you a ARCOM, which is the third lowest. So it's above us that certificate you just discussed, and it's above the achievement medal. They'll give you an ARCOM, and all you got to do is survive your deployment. You could be
Okay.
in the rear with the gear, you know, and they give you an ARCOM.
You know what? It's been so long since I looked at medals. But I seen somebody, I seen a dude go on a Westpac and he came back and showed it was a nice medal, man. It was up there.
Mm.
He got his seafare and he got his airfare. So and he wanted to retire. So he took that 6 months to just work on that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know I don't know the Navy award structure, but the Army, you got the lowest is COA, Army Achievement Medal, Army Commendation Medal. Um, you have, I think it's MSM, Meritorious Service Medal. Then it goes BSM, Bronze Star Medal, um, Silver Star. Then you got Gold Star. Then I think they get into clusters or something like that. I can't remember, but as a junior enlisted, I would have to die to get a gold star medal, or a silver star, or hell, even a bronze star.
Yeah, it's very competitive job, and it's a lot of money. And I say a lot of money, but it's a lot of potential once you get out, to make money. Right now, though, if you're in, and they sending you to Iran, yeah, these are not the good times. These are gonna be some hard times for the servicemen over there, man. Especially the way they're shooting the missiles off.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying on that, Platinum, and I tend to want to agree with you. The only thing I would say though, with the economy looking the way it is, it may not be such a bad idea to stay in. You know what I'm saying?
Stay in. What you mean? No, I'm talking about they got to go and they got to still do their job. But I'm saying they're gonna be in Iran, so that's got to be a
Yeah,
hard time. Who wants to go over there for 3-4 years?
yeah. But I mean, let's say, what I'm saying, let's say if the unemployment rate ticks up and you ain't got no job, you know what I mean? At least
Yeah,
with the army, you
but
three hots in a cot.
okay, I got you. But even that though, you still okay. I got you. Well, if that's what you got to do,
Yeah, I mean, hell, I mean, I joined. You got to remember, I joined at the height of the Iraq War. Yeah, we were in both Iraq and Afghanistan when I joined. You know, but my ass, I couldn't afford to live in California.
what do you mean, like off base?
I'm talking about before I joined the
Oh,
military while I was in high school. You know, I'm not going to say I was a bad student, but I just never applied myself. I barely passed high school, so college was not. I probably would have had to do some time at community college first. But it was like, okay, well, where am I going to live? How am I going to support myself? Kind of thing. Because I remember having that conversation with my mom. She did not want me joining the military at all. Woman fought me tooth and nail about that. You're going to go to Iraq. You're going to die. And all this other stuff. I heard it all when I joined. But I was like, hey, I mean,
mhm.
hell, somebody can rob me on the street and I can die here.
Yeah. Well, somebody got to go, man, and that's the way it is, man. We've
Yeah.
enjoyed peace, but war is not peace, and
Mm-mm.
right now we're fortunate, but unfortunately for us, or just like the guy in Houston or Dallas, the guy he was a extremist
Hmm.
and he shot 2 people or whatever. He's a terrorist.
Hmm.
This is the beginning, man. You don't know what might happen,
Yeah.
and we're very vulnerable. We really practice freedom here. What I mean by that is we just had the Super Bowl. We just had before that, we have these award shows. We have all of these basketball games. We have all of these things that they're wide open because we're free. If you get somebody that's radical, man, that's gonna change that.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, hell, even with Trump, you did a live about it. You remember that live you did about ICE? We had discussed that, how they were kind of turning almost like into a secret police.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
See, and
mean,
that's the thing about Trump with this Iraq thing and dead service people coming back, and you got an ICE force, and you're gonna have more mistakes. It's just a
hmm.
matter of time for somebody else loses their life. You got ICE, you got dead civilians.
Hmm.
That's gonna have a lot to do with the way people perceive, who should be in charge.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
but I'll be honest with you though, Platinum. I mean, you I know if things, if things go bad, which more than likely they will, but we don't know yet officially. But you know, you can't really blame President Trump. You got to blame the people that put his ass in office. Whose fault? Whose fault is this really?
Well, and this was going to happen because he doesn't listen to his generals. He doesn't want to listen to
He
them.
don't listen to nobody.
Well, okay, nobody. But he said he don't want to listen to them. He says he knows. He just knows what he's doing, and they advised him not to get involved in this.
Yeah. Well, shit. Hitler thought he knew better than his generals too. Look how well that turned out for him. Yeah.
But we try, man. We want to put this on, man. We want to run this through, Darnell, and killed in action, man. Let me do this for you, man. You're a former service person.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to stand at attention. But what we're gonna do, man, is we're gonna go over here to right here. If you can, hit a like, man. If you up, put a 1 in the chat, man. Follow me. We're gonna have a moment of silence for these 4 fallen service members. They made the ultimate sacrifice. They gave their lives so that we can do this right now. There are not missiles, bombs falling outside. We're able to get on podcasts. They'll never be able to do anything like that. And they took, because they were ready to go to these foreign places and work. And nobody told them, hey, we're going to bomb Iran. Nobody told them that. They just got lit up with a drone. And they're saying it was 6 of them. So that means the ones who were seriously wounded, 2 of them have passed. They died Sunday when a drone hit a command center. Says Captain Cody Court, 35 of Winter Haven, Florida. Sergeant First Class Noah Tejins, 42 of Bellevue, Nebraska. Sergeant First Class Nicole O'More, 39 of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Sergeant Declan Cody, 20 of West Des Moines, Iowa. These men were all bravely volunteering to defend our country, and their sacrifices should never be forgotten. And yeah, I appreciate you, Red Planet. Let me put my 1 in here. If not us, who, man? If not us, who? You can at ease, Darnell.
Platinum. I had looked up where these guys, lost their lives, and I tell you, it was really scary. These guys were in the Tactical Operations Center, the base that they was at. And I'll tell you why this is scary is they hit the S-pod. They hit where the ships come in and bring in supplies. So these guys, like, I wasn't far from where they were stationed at my first deployment. I was at Camp Arifjan. That's where CENTCOM is. And so I wasn't far, but that Kuwait used to be considered the rear. I mean, yes, we got hazardous duty pay, but it was like nothing really ever happened in Kuwait.
No.
These guys.
But we're in the age of drones now.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. Like,
okay.
The warfare has changed completely in the 20 years I've been out. You know what I'm saying? the warfare has changed. Um, man, it's insane. I mean, there used to be a joke, when you're going to Kuwait, man, you're gonna get a Purple Heart if you get a paper cut, And now I look at this, man, it's real sad, These guys were in the rear with the gear and still,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I tell you, what about the troops that are still there? If the S pod got hit, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they're hitting the airports. Dubai is a major airport. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to attack Al Yassaleen. You know, you know, man. I mean, I'm kind of wondering. I got to ask Platinum: did President Trump really think this through?
The way he didn't listen to him, they told him. But he,
Yeah.
like you said, he don't listen to his general. So they told him they looked at it from a strategic standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, well, we're already short because we've been giving money to the Ukraine, we've been giving money to Israel. So and they know the productions to get the proper stockpile of weapons, it's gonna take, but this is March. We'll probably have to hang around. We can go in, but we're gonna have to probably wait till October. That way we'll have a healthy supply, and we won't run low for 5-6 months. By that time we can have another supply. He didn't listen. And he looked at it as, okay, they know we're down, but we're gonna cut the head off the fish, and then they're gonna fall, and that's not happening.
Yeah. You remember when we got Osama bin Laden? You remember when we got him?
I remember.
Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
Afghanistan at the time, and our supplies used to come in through Pakistan. I mean, we were also flying it in too, but mostly Pakistan was how we mostly got resupplied. That's where the S pod was. Anyway, after we got them, the Pakistanis got mad because we did a raid without consulting the Pakistanis in their territory. That's where he was hiding at, and they shut down. They basically said, "Okay, you can't bring in your supplies. Do you know food?" I mean, we didn't starve or anything, but we had to eat more MREs. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't get as many hot meals, while Washington and whatever the capital of Pakistan is, while they were trying to sort that mess out. You know,
we,
um,
we used to we used to find them. Now I wasn't on the field, like out there in combat field. I was, but I'm not. Look, let me just say what I was. We used to find them, right? They would be like stored, right?
Yep.
So we would go and we go find them. He said, "Look, that place back, that storage shed, it's got like 15 boxes of MREs." And I looked at it. Looks like them things been sitting back there for 5 years.
Yeah.
And they say, "Okay, go get a box." Say, it's not being inventoried. Just go get a box. We go back there and get a box. And they have a certain amount. I don't even know how many, but we got the box and we busted open, and we took them, and it's this meals ready to eat MREs, and open it up, and it was just it would say ham and eggs. It was spam and eggs. It would say spaghetti, and then it had coffee, Tabasco sauce.
Yep.
Sometimes they had a cigarette in it.
They
Eat it,
quit doing the cigarettes when I was in.
eating it, right? Um, man, I'm no, I'm going. You said y'all was just on the MREs. I don't know if I could have made it. I ate, and we looked at the various packages, right? we quote unquote rat fuck, just opened them up, took out the good shit, left the bad shit. We did a
Hmm.
bunch of them like that, but no, I didn't eat them. But I did envision myself how bad it would be if I had to eat like an entire MRE and not just eat the good stuff.
Hmm.
I don't even remember. It was one pack. It was a certain one. You could eat that.
Hmm.
That was pretty good.
I think it was the pot roast.
Was it pretty
Was it the?
good?
Oh hell yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The pot roast was good. Somebody told me the vegetarian meals were good too.
I don't think that was in that. I don't think vegetarian.
You know, they had vegetarian MREs when I was in. You know,
No, I meant
matter of
the little box. It probably was 14, 15. It just had a bunch of different variations, but I didn't see any
yeah,
variation.
yeah. Usually there'd be one or because a box I think used to contain 12 MREs or something like that. I can't remember, but one or two of them would always be a vegetarian. You know, because you had vegetarians in the military. Yeah. But yeah, I remember going on the FTX. It was about 1 maybe 2 weeks. We only had one hot meal a day, so the rest was all MREs. And you know, we used to get a hot breakfast, but it was MRE lunch, MRE dinner. Man, when I tell you, when I came back from the field, you know, uh, trying to use the bathroom, man,
Hmm.
those things I found out, man, those things you don't want to eat too many of those because it makes you constipated, man.
Hmm.
Bad. Like I was sitting on the toilet for man, had to been all day. I'm shocked I didn't get a hemorrhoid.
We went. Um, I got stationed in Fort. Is it San Angelos, Texas Air Force Base? I think. Um, I was in heaven. I had never been had an experience like that. I didn't even think that was the military, man. San Angelo. It's I had to go look it up, man. But it was in Texas, San Angelos, Texas Air Force Base. The women were so man, Air Force women, good lord. They didn't even
Yeah,
have, they didn't even look like military women. And they stuck me on that base, man. And the food
yeah,
they had, they had they made your meal for you. Now they did have a little. You got to get in and out. They had like a little
yeah,
buffet thing, right, with a lot of basic stuff in it. You know, mashed potatoes, gravy, shit like that. You know, carrots, green beans, and then some chicken, some fish. But if you wanted it, it would take a little longer. They fixed your meal. Just went in, put your meal in. They fixed it. They let you know you went and got it, just like you was at a restaurant. And
hmm,
this was on base, and the rooms where they put you, it's like hotel. Bro, I couldn't believe that was military. I couldn't believe it. And
hmm,
the women, man, the women, I couldn't believe these were military women. Them women were so put together, man.
yeah,
That shit was like being in college.
yep,
Yeah, but it was only on that San Antonio. I can't speak on. I've been on other bases, and I definitely didn't see that. But on there, it was.
yeah,
It was the only thing about it you couldn't drink the water. The water was straight black, and you couldn't drink. You had to have bottled water. They would say go buy bottled water, but if you drank that water, you're gonna get the belly ache, and if you drank a lot of it, you're gonna really get sick. And I used to cut the faucet on, and that thing was straight black, man. I was like, damn, what is this? Because I never seen nothing like that before.
yeah. Same thing happened at Camp Lejeune. Like you get out if you was at Camp Lejeune, man, and you get out, you're automatically disabled through the VA. No questions asked.
If you get out, what you mean by that?
Like when you get out, whether you retire or you
Oh, I know what
know,
you mean. I know what you. Oh, because
yeah,
all those problems.
yeah. The
Yeah,
army they poisoned the reservoir years ago.
I seen that.
Yeah,
Mesothelioma.
yeah. Mesothelioma, I think it's pronounced.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, I seen that. I
Yeah,
seen.
they don't. No questions asked. Camp Lejeune. Okay, yep, you're disabled.
I go to the VA, and I see them dudes. I see them old vets and stuff. They be sit outside.
Hmm.
They had respirators on them, black and white.
Hmm.
I see them, man. I see that, man. I see. I gotta get in the gym, man. I gotta get back to running. I see them when they at the end of the road, man. You know, and I'm one of them dudes, man. I'm a dude like that right now. I was always been the person. I didn't think there was an end of the road. Man, I really literally, and I guess that's what you do. I literally thought I would live forever, right? I still think that, right? But you know, you come on YouTube, right? And I come on
Hmm.
YouTube, and boom, down goes the David Carroll guy. I used to see him smoking his cigars, talking. Boom, that I'm within the. You know, I'm talking about. I had been seeing him off and on, but then boom, he goes away.
Hmm.
Boom, Kevin Samuels.
Yeah,
Boom, uh, man, what is his name? The one he got like three names. Roger Allen Kelly. Is that it?
I don't. I don't
Corey,
know.
Roger Allen Corey. He goes. That was in the span. They was like within the spans of what, 2 years?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
rest in
I
peace to those
remember.
dudes. But I'm saying
Mhm.
we that lesson needs to be learned for every man, though, man. You got to keep your health together. You got to get your life together because you never know when that day gonna come, and it's gonna come faster than you think.
Mhm.
So you better get it done, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm starting to realize that myself. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I never really thought about it like that. I guess all those years I lived in Afghanistan and Iraq. It was like I kind of felt almost invulnerable, man. And I'm like, well, if I survived Afghanistan, then I could survive anything. And now it's like, I don't know. I got, it's probably just age getting to me, but
Yeah. And when I go and I come out, I say, not long conversations, no, but I see those guys. I go up to them, thank them for their
mhm,
service, say something, joking with them. And because I'm telling you, man, and I don't see that, but I don't want to be sitting outside no VA hospital in a wheelchair with my ship hat on, right,
mhm,
by myself, uh, you know, trying to make it. I don't want to do that, man. I don't.
yeah,
I'm saying you see this stuff when you see that that shit real, man.
oh yeah, yeah. I see it all the time. Every time I go to the VA, yeah. Another thing I found out too, like I guess it really happens with military people, but it's when we stop exercising, that's when the problems really come.
Yep, you gotta stay active, man. Get a
Hmm.
treadmill, put that treadmill on low,
Yep.
put it on low so you can't. I ain't talking about run with it, I mean put it on that low speed that's hard to turn and
Hmm.
try to do that for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And I mean it depends on you. You can do more of it, but that way you ain't outside. You ain't got to get in the elements, man.
Hmm.
I forgot how much I got this. I'm looking at my treadmill right here. I got this thing. I don't even remember. I probably had this thing. I'm trying to think. Okay, oh, I probably had this thing 15, 16, 17 years, man.
Damn.
Still going. light up. You know, it's old, right?
Hmm.
But it works. It works, man. I
Yeah.
managed to get me a little man cave, man. It's down there in the man cave.
Oh, okay.
Actually stream from my man cave. So uh the bedroom, the master bedroom is a
Hmm.
normal master bedroom.
Mm.
But the man cave, it's got everything. It's got a podcast uh setup, treadmill, weights, football, TVs, NBA, uh, uh, NBA, whatever they call it, college game day, pros. It's straight, man. But to a certain degree, it's just it's just what it is, man. Like, share, support, man. Support the platform. What we doing, man? We had a couple individuals killed. We we have shown respect to them. This is the beginning. I don't think we're going to be able to stomach what's going to happen. I think the death count right now is about 800. We're not being told that, and I don't think we're ready for that. And
What,
and
you,
as far
you
as
you
far as
think
Trump,
you think we lost 700-800 people?
I think maybe more than that, about 900. They just haven't
I don't.
they haven't released the numbers.
I don't think we've lost that many people. I mean, that'd be. I mean, I would see the media. They would be covering, especially CNN. They'd definitely be covering that.
No, not really, because the Trump admin. Okay, if they don't allow the administration to tell the public who was lost, and then
Hmm.
control the
Hmm.
narrative on that, they're going to be seen as traitors. They're going to be if CNN says, "Hey, the actual body count is 715," and it hadn't been
Hmm.
released from the White House, they're going to look at them as traitors. So they can't really say anything. Just like the generals can't say, a general can't go hold no press conference and say, "I told President Trump not to go into Iraq." I mean, Iran.
Well, you're that's a different story though. You're talking yeah, you're right. A general can't, he can't do that. His ass will get fired. But like the but the mainstream media though, I mean, hell, they've been critical of Trump during both his terms. You know, nothing stopped. I mean, nothing stopped CNN from being CNN and MSNBC from being critical of Trump. Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I've seen I haven't seen it. You know what? We no longer live in that world, but I remember a world that a president could be front page news if he just got up too quick, at a funeral. If he just
Yeah.
got up too quick, that was front page news.
Shit, you remember when Obama wore a tan suit?
Yeah.
Jesus, you would have thought like, man, like he pissed himself, or you would have thought like, or something crazy, like he did something crazy. I
If,
can't believe Obama's wearing a tan suit. That's not how a president's supposed to
uh,
dress.
Fox News, Fox
Mm.
News, Fox
Hmm.
News. Hannity used to hang wallpaper. Now, I'll give you this. Hannity is an ultra conservative, right? And a bigot and a racist. But he
Hmm.
used to hang wallpaper. He found out about talk radio from doing that. He didn't go to college.
I didn't know that.
Nah, he used to hang wallpaper, and that's when he found Rush Limbaugh. And I think he said after about 5 or 6 months, There was a local radio station, and he went down, got to know the guys. You know, they have little things. Hey, we're gonna be at Lucy's, you know, watching the football, watching the, you know, the local, like watching the Hawks play. We're gonna be at Lucas. Lucy, he went down, introduced himself, got to know the people, and told him he had some show ideas, and they let him come on. He started out small, and look at him now. He makes $45 million a year.
Mhm.
He's been headlining Fox. You know, he didn't like Bill O'Reilly, so uh, and he survived that. So the company had to make it in. They got rid of Bill and kept him. And he
Yeah,
used
but
to do Hannity and Combs. Remember Combs? Combs passed away.
yep.
I used to
Oh, I
like
didn't know he
him.
passed. I
Oh,
didn't know he passed away.
Combs been passed away probably 2006.
No, he was still alive. He was still alive in 2006. Alan
Hannity and
Combs?
Combs. Yeah, Alan Combs passed away, bro. Okay, 2013.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. But I didn't know he was gone though.
Holmes was a liberal.
Yeah, I remember. I that was supposed to be their see, we're not just conservative, we also allow liberals on our show.
He was good though, man. Combs was good. He used to defeat Hannity a lot. But this is before, you know, all this ultra conservative stuff became the norm now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But now I don't even think it's real. I don't even think it's at least back in the days of Hannity and Combs and the heyday of Fox News, at least ultra conservatism was somewhat real. Like today, man,
Bill
you
O'Reilly,
know,
Fox News is ultra conservative. Do you know that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well,
But back then they were real. But now I was just talking about the movement of the whole conservative movement that you see today.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a joke.
But before, okay, in my opinion,
Hmm.
you had the Rush. Rush was regulated to the uh, uh, outskirts of the society. He was not a part of mainstream society. Rush
Yeah.
was stuff you heard. Rush was basically the guy your crazy uncle listened to in the garage,
Yep.
right? That's what he was. He wasn't shortwave nuts. He wasn't that bad, but he wasn't very far from being a shortwave nut. When Rush Limbaugh was coming on, he got the drive time crowd. Now on that with the Howard Stern and then TV and then the radio being interested in people like that, he got that
Hmm.
drive time audience. Then he started building up. But before that, he was damn near shortwave guy. When you go back to Timothy McVeigh, the
Hmm.
Turner Diaries, right? William Pierce, he wrote the Turner Diaries. He had a shortwave. See, we're in the age of the internet now.
Yeah.
We live no. Now you can have a YouTube channel. Now you can have a membership. Now you can have a Patreon. Now you can have you're on the back streams. You know,
Hmm.
there's plenty of ways to communicate. Back then, Timothy McVeigh, there wasn't no damn internet.
Mm-mm.
So he wrote the Turner Diary. So and if anybody that's on the internet now, this is the equivalent to shortwave. It was a
Yeah.
short, yeah. It was a little radio you bought, and
Hmm.
you could broadcast from your basement, uh, and you did it shortwave, and it was like an AM station, but it was shortwave radio, and a lot of people would participate. They could communicate with you via your phone number. So if you want to just talk politics or whatever, you could do it, and then that person could turn around, communicate. Now, as far as money, I don't know how they did that. So
Advertisers.
okay, I don't know how they did on the short wave. I don't know how. I guess selling their books, and it wasn't just William Pierce. Anyhow, Timothy McVeigh was motivated by William Pierce, who wrote the Turner Diaries.
Hmm.
So he did the Oklahoma thing right there, and
Hmm.
people still looked at like William Pierce as weirdos. They looked at him like, let's regulate him to the back of the room, right?
Yeah.
Then now this is my opinion. I'm living in America like everybody else. Then O.J. Simpson happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you had all of that for a year. You had Marsha Clark. You had all of that. You had the Dream Team.
Mm-hmm.
You had all of it, just like the Anton or whatever. There's a topic and everybody starts reviewing it. When
Mm-hmm.
OJ happened, everybody, whoever was on TV, magazines, OJ Simpson. It wasn't just about him. Nicole Brown. Who's Nicole
Mm-hmm.
Brown? Who's Denise? Who's
Mm-hmm.
OJ? What about his son? Is he, all of that stuff was being put out there.
Yeah.
Cato, who's Cato?
Cato. I was about to say, yeah, Cato.
Everywhere. And I think that's when, in my opinion, when OJ came out, then they said not guilty, and all them niggas in California was clowning, laying out in front of the courtroom, jumping up and down, celebrating that. I think that split the country we live in racially.
It did.
When that happened, I think that's when Rush caught wind. I think that's when Fox News, that year Fox News was made. Fox News was covering that story every night, and boom, they was putting it out on the whole victimhood and woke culture and racism and black racism, and they're taking it from us. All of that was birth. So I've always blamed OJ for that, because I was like, man, we weren't even the same. We was different once OJ happened, because he did that to it, even though it was his wife. It was like a black man did something terrible to a white woman, and he got off from it. That's the way it was perceived. So, and I don't think we've ever been, as America, we've never been the same since.
I have to disagree with you there, Platinum, because we had other stuff going on, and I think that's especially the celebration that you saw from black people, it stemmed from a lot how the system was used to oppress black people. You know what I'm saying? You could tell our justice system, hell, had been corrupt for like the longest period of time. Well, here's where I think what the celebration was about. It became bigger than OJ and Nicole. It became a black man finally won in the system. And I hate to use that term, especially considering the tragic events that took place, but I mean, you remember just a few years before that, the Rodney King trial, there was another trial that was lesser known, but it was a Korean, store owner, a little girl went in to go buy an orange juice, and the Korean store owner just shot her dead.
You talking about the LA?
She was found. Yeah.
Nah, she wasn't buying that. You buy that juice.
Yeah, but that's because she shot her.
But
she was clutching the $2 in her hand when
well, you'd have
she
to
was
show
shot.
me on that one. You got to show me, because if you're talking about that thing about Tupac sang about it in Heaven Got a Ghetto, and I seen a video. They released a video of that girl. That girl went in there and stole that juice, and that Asian woman grabbed her and said, was motioning, you got to pay for it. And she mushed that chick. She mushed that chick in the face, and that's when that chick reached behind the counter and shot her. And then she got off from it, right? Now, maybe she shouldn't have got off. And then people kept talking about they just shot her. Well, I mean, she did shoot her, but you're not telling the whole story, because if you go and look at, they got the video of that, they released it. That chick went in there and she walked like that was her refrigerator. She grabbed that thing and opened it up and started walking out. And then that Asian woman reached across the counter, grabbed her as to say, you got to pay for that. And she mushed that chick. Then looked back at her and tried to walk out the door. And that woman got the gun and then, bam, took her down.
No, she put the juice in her backpack before paying for it. She put it in her backpack, and that's when the store owner thought that, oh, you're trying to steal. You know, there was a commotion. She pulls out her pistol, shoots the girl, because I guess the girl reached in her pocket. But the thing was, when the police found her, when the police got there, they found $2 in her hand. I mean, as far as that other stuff, I don't know nothing about it. I'd never heard that part.
And that was some LA stuff, though. That was a lot of LA stuff. We talking
But
about
the
LA,
thing,
right?
yeah, that was in LA. But the thing was, I mean, you had Daryl Gates, who was police LAPD, what do you call it? Police commissioner or no, chief of police, during the 80s and stuff like that. Had some very heavy-handed tactics, against blacks. Hell, documents even revealed, man, they were shooting up black neighborhoods, the police department. I mean, I don't think they were intentionally trying to kill nobody, but, they just start shooting up, firing shots at a random house, but it wasn't just that. I mean, the same, you have similar stuff happen in Detroit. That's how the Detroit riots back in the 60s, the murder of Medgar Evers down in Mississippi, civil rights shot in his driveway. The state governor, it's kind of.
I think Trump, I think they scrubbed that out of Black history, Medgar Evers, or they changed it where it wasn't done by a racist. It was like they played with the history. They want to change the history on it.
I wouldn't be surprised, but what's crazy is when the governor of the state comes and visits, the accused murderer and shakes his hand,
Yeah.
I mean, during a murder trial, I mean, it's like, come on, man.
Okay, well, first you got to understand white supremacy, right? White supremacy is both. They're the victim and the oppressor, right? You could almost make that case with what's going on with Iran, because it's like, hey, they're going to attack us. Victimhood. They're going to. We're scared. We're scared. They're building a bomb. They're building a bomb. Help! 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 Then they attack that person. So they're both. You know what I mean? They're the victim and the oppressor, right? So when you talk about Medgar Evers, they have to some kind of way craft him into an aggressive person or someone who was asking for it. And
the thing,
if you look at American history, and nobody wants to deal with this, is there were plenty of open racists. And what I'm saying, when you start talking about Brown versus the board, go and look at YouTube videos about that. Them people don't have no problem talking about they don't want niggas, they don't want their kids to go to school with blacks. They weren't necessarily going that far. They were saying I don't want my kids going to school with blacks. They were saying
they
stood up on that.
That's the sanitized version. Shit. I mean, they called up the National Guard to prevent the blacks from getting into the school.
They had to, because that was just the culture. They didn't believe that they could live with blacks. And there's a black family. They moved into a home. Ooh, man, I gotta go. I gotta find this. I can give you details. It was on like 60 Minutes, and we talking about woos. I got to go and see 60 Minutes. I don't know how long it's been on air, but we talking about 64, 63. It was a black family who were both of the people were professionals, and they moved into an all-white neighborhood, and they had signs and protests, And Mike Wallace was out there talking to him. He said, "So what's the problem?" Well, they're black. We don't want black. We don't need black people here. You know, and he's, and he just said, why they got to move here? Well, go to somebody else's neighborhood. So they got firebombed. Somebody threw a pipe bomb through the window, and he was talking to him. He said, well, just a couple of days ago, somebody firebombed. They caught him. They got the people who did it. And he said, well, maybe they just need to leave. He said, he said, maybe they weren't really trying to, nobody got hurt. He said, maybe they weren't trying to hurt anybody. It's just basically trying to get them to leave. Yeah. So we try to act like racism is some type of misinterpretation or something that people are just saying. No, that shit is real. Them people,
well, the thing,
look at it yourself. The people racist as hell.
Yeah. Well, the thing is though, Platinum, since you had mentioned about firebombing, I lived in Calera, Alabama, where you had the 16th Street bombing. You know how Birmingham ended up with the nickname Bombingham. You know, with the little girls that got killed. You know, what a lot of people didn't know, they actually stopped the guy that did the bombing. Police had pulled him over for like a busted taillight or something like that. You know, and then they saw the dynamite in the man's car and just gave him a ticket.
I got you.
Gave him a ticket. It's like, instead of, what are you doing with dynamite? You know, next thing you know, a church is blown up. Yeah. So, that's what I'm talking about, where it felt, when it came to the OJ thing, that you had brought up, I think blacks really, were just celebrating a black man, the system. A black man finally beat the system. That's what I think more or less it was about. Now, yeah, you're right. I think black people did go a little too far saying OJ was innocent. Hell, I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking it, but I was programmed by my grandmother,
Well, black, okay. But the point was this: he had a fair trial and he was found not guilty. And a lot of black people, see, this is what happens with racism, right? You get lied to and said, hey, just do right. Don't be a bad guy. Don't do like George Floyd. Don't do like Mike Brown. Don't do like Trayvon Martin. Just, love your country, listen to your mom, and do right. Well, when black people do it, and then they look at the rules and the way this country is made, and something happens, and they say, well, I'll get a lawyer. I don't need a public defender. I'll pay for my lawyer, and I'll put on a defense, and it's all within the rules and confines of everybody else. And I'll sit in front of a jury, and I'll be judged, and that jury says not guilty. Black people did celebrate, but there was a certain amount of hypocrisy, in the sense. It was a certain amount of hypocrisy from many people who weren't happy for OJ. When you go back to the Emmett Till, he was accused of a crime, and then he was put to death. He never had a trial. It's almost like, we want you to have a trial. We'll let you have a trial, nigga, but you still gonna be found guilty. And that didn't happen. And to me, that split this whole country in a way that I ain't never seen it be that divided. I've never seen it before. And OJ was not even like, OJ said he wasn't even black. He OJ.
Yeah, I'm not black. I'm OJ. But the thing was, though, and two, it was like OJ, I want to say, was like one of the first accepted, one of the first blacks accepted by white. I could be wrong, but I think he's one of the first black people accepted by white people, though.
He was. OJ, to be honest, OJ, minus the Nicole stuff, when you talk about his football career, you talk about OJ,
Yeah.
He was one of the. He probably was more, but he's one of the few black celebrities
Hmm.
that the white community really, really accepted him. It was nothing to see OJ. 'Cause OJ also hung out with Robert Kardashian, right? He hung
Yeah.
out like they were friends. Like OJ
I
didn't
think they
really
went.
hang out.
I think they went to college together. I think.
Okay. Oh,
I
OJ
think I
didn't.
could be wrong.
OJ didn't really hang out with black guys like that. You know
Mm-mm.
what I mean? He did.
Nope.
So it was nothing for white society to see OJ hanging out with Johnny Carson. I'm talking about on like just doing stuff with them, like they're friends, right? And it was showing a side of America. Look at this black man and how he's so adapted and he's assimilated, and he's doing hurt commercials. He's running at the airport, and people are saying, white people, go OJ.
Go, Jay.
Yeah.
Go. Yep. Running through
And
the airport.
he had transcended. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that thing happened, but and then the trial happened, and then things went in the wrong direction. And to me, that was the birth of conservative media, because when you talk about liberals,
Hmm.
that was the order. America was a liberal society. I mean, it was conservative, but you can't even say. See, the conservatives will tell you what Trump is. Just say Trump's a typical conservative. No, no, it's just that you so liberal. The pendulum had it. If you were a conservative, you could do different things. Okay, if you were a conservative, you could cut welfare.
Hmm.
And I'm talking about you could cut $10 off.
Hmm.
And the Democrat or the liberal thought that was the end of the world. How dare you're starving us, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was considered a hardcore conservative guy. He cut across the board $10 off the food stamp program. I'm saying that was conservative. Now all this shit going into Iran,
Hmm.
taking over Venezuela, that was uneven, unthinkable. Losing military personnel and telling people that you're gonna lose them, and then knowing you got to see their families. You think their families gonna be like, "I'm willing to sacrifice my kid for your war of convenience"?
I mean, well, anytime you have a military campaign, I'll just be real with you. I mean, the government knows there's going to be casualties. I mean, in fact, they do risk assessments all the time. Every time they do any kind of operation, okay, we're going to lose, 1% of our people. You know, um, you know, uh, that's just kind of normal. I know it sounds bad, but you know, uh, I mean, war. I mean, it's called war for a reason, though. But as far as like Trump being I don't even think Trump is really a conservative. I just think he's just riding the bandwagon. Because even the conservatives, are starting to uh, speak out about against him. Marjorie Taylor Greene. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. I mean, man, she has been like ripping into Trump lately. You know,
Well,
uh,
we'll see, man. I mean, he's taking a chance. Maybe he knows America better than me, man. I
I
wonder
don't, I don't.
if
Well,
people go silent.
actually, yeah.
If they go silent on these dead bodies that's going to be brought back here,
Hmm.
he knows America better than me. I don't think they're going to be silent about it. And also, you got to deal with the families. And
Yeah,
I
but
know
you're
the
gonna,
families are going to be silent about it.
yeah, but you're gonna have to see a lot more, uh, dead Americans before before that happens. Right now, it's just going to be the liberal left. Yeah, But in the future, as things heat up, you know, yeah, I think you're right. The country is going to turn. Uh, because like I just remember, the Iraq War. I can't remember when. I think it took us about 2 years. Might have been a year and a half, maybe 2 years, when we hit um, the 1,000 death toll mark in Iraq. You know, um, the only places that were really protesting the war were your major cities, especially in California. But I mean, the protests were really a joke. It wasn't until Congress held hearings on why we entered in Iraq, and then the economy started going to shit. That's when everybody was like, you know, uh, that's when everybody became anti-war after that. You know what I mean? That's when the protests really took off. The Democrats had their blue wave, uh, stuff like that. But in this case, um, you know, um,
I got you.
yeah, yeah. I don't know about. See, today's people, American citizen is a lot different from the American citizens of old. Like, I mean, if you were to talk to somebody like my dad's age, for example, uh, he remembers the Iranian hostage situation. You know, uh, if that generation, well, I mean, there's still some people that were, I mean, there's still people around that remember that. Those people are going to probably be like, hey, man, I'm finally glad this guy is gone, you know, um, because let's face it, I mean, the Ayatollah he was not a good man, period. You know, Iran, has supported a lot of bad stuff, you know.
I
So
got
yeah, but today's generation, they're not going to remember. You talk about the hostage crisis in '79. It's like today, nobody's going to. What are you talking about? No one is even going to know about that.
I got you.
You know.
I got you. I'm about to fall asleep right now, man. So we got to shut it
Okay.
down. I appreciate
All
you,
right.
Darnell.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
All right, brother.
All right.
There goes Darnell. We're talking about killed in action. 6 Americans, 2 have been revealed. We have 2 on the way. Made the greatest sacrifice. Thank you for your service. We wanted to pay tribute to them. Uh, like, share, support. Hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat. Like the stream. Like the stream. And if you can, go and see if there are GoFundMe's for these individuals. I don't know. There may not be necessary, but there might be one, and it's up to you. And I saw you, Chaos. Now I'm not going, it'll be a minute, brother. But I'll go and look at the video. It's going to be a minute.